Hey, what up? One more game left. One more call-in show for the season. We are here. We are here. Welcome to the Coaches Huddle where the field meets family, and it's your boy, the coach. And we're back for the last one. Say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so. It's the end, man. It's the end. This is the last call-in show of the season, not the last call-in show of the year. You guys know I will be rocking out with you guys all throughout the year. But this is it, guys. The 6-10 San Francisco 49ers face the 7-9 Arizona Cardinals in the last conference divisional game of the season. And nobody cares about this game. Let's get to it. What do you want to see moving forward for the offseason? Right? What do you want to see? You know, how do you feel about the season? Let's do some self-assessment. I feel like the theme of this week has been self-assessment, right? There was a question to Kyle Shanahan about his individual performance throughout the year. He took umbrage with the question, answered it very matter-of-factly, defensive, you might say. But I feel like it's time for everybody to have assessment. You know, we can look at the team, you know, call in. The link is in the chat. It's pinned in the chat. But, you know, we can assess the offense. We can assess the defense, quarterback play, offensive line, which we've been talking about all season, receivers. How do you feel about the injuries? How they affected us? You know, there's so many things to talk about when assessing this season. Also listening to the conversations from John Lynch recently coming in about this being more of a reset, getting back the right players healthy, getting some more continuity, not necessarily having the best offseason that they needed. He mentioned that they didn't necessarily have enough time to really get off their feet, pretty much have closure from the season and move forward. How do you feel about those comments? I want to hear from you guys. You know, and if you want to talk about the Arizona game, we can, right? I got Conrad up. He's coming up. Conrad just jumped. So I got Chunder Boy coming up in a little bit. But, you know, how do you feel about us moving forward? Should we rebuild or should we reload, right? Is this a reset? When I say rebuild versus reload, reloading is basically, hey, run it back. Couple of injuries, more than a couple of injuries, if you want to be fair. A lot of off the field issues that nobody could foresee. Ricky Pearsall gets shot. We have children passing on, and multiple members of the team with Travarius Ward. Trent Williams dealt with some serious off-field issues. I mean, that's real. But I just wanted to set the floor. We're going to get some guys up. Conrad, I'm going to get you up first, and we can go. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing today, Coach?
I'm good, Conrad. Talk to me, man. What you got for me?
First thing I want to say is I love when you and Grant together. You and Grant, y'all give me to my thing. As you can see, 49 faithful always, you know what I'm saying?
All day.
Second thing I want to say about what you was talking about last time you and Grant was talking, you were saying you want to cut through cussing down. I can say that what you can do is you can do that to make sure you better yourself in the future, but at the same time, whole time, you can also put down that this is not a kid's show for that person that said, you know, my kids is watching. Because you is a grown man and hey, things happen. But one thing I want to ask you, Coach, is do you think that we can go? You think that Jay, you're gonna put the pressure on Cal to be like, look, your job is involved here. We're not going to keep tolerating for the NFC Championship, and I know it's hard to win a Super Bowl, but it's time for you to even shut up and put up on this because this is what we're going in this ninth year with Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How many coaches been with the organization 9 years and did not win a championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's rare. It's rare. Nobody's been able to stick around that long in the NFL for that. But at the same time, I like the way you framed that question because I don't feel as though that's the conversation that the Yorks would have with Kyle. I believe that if Kyle was still getting us to the NFC Championship performances, like if he was getting us that deep into the playoffs, they'd be fine. I think that we're starting to see that the only time you're really going to see ownership step in is when they messing with the money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like when we ain't making the playoffs, like when we got a losing season. I think that's when you see ownership really step in. But as far as is Kyle, do I believe there's a world or a conversation that Kyle would have to have with ownership about his lack of not winning a championship? I don't believe that conversation exists.
Okay, and one more thing I want to ask you. Okay, do you think the 49ers should do a slight rebuild, or do you think the 49ers should be like, but them draft picks, we going all in this year? I would like to see a really going all in type of year, like what the Eagles did. The Eagles then they did a slight rebuild and they brought in talent. The last time the 49ers really brought in good talent and was in the market is that when we brought in what's the linebacker name from Tampa Bay that we brought the last time we went to the Super Bowl?
Levante David from Tampa Bay?
I think no, I think that was him. The last time when we got the wide receiver from Denver, Manuel Sanders.
Okay, Manuel Sanders, 19.
Yeah, that was the last year that we really pushed the envelope. So do you actually think that the 49ers would like say, man, you know what, let's trade these picks. Let's get an offensive line. Do you think the 49ers would do that, or do you think that they're going to be like playing around and just picking up people here and there?
All right, I'm going to answer you, then we're going to close out.
Okay.
One, I do believe that we should rebuild. I don't think that we should reload or pivot. One thing that I feel is that, right, we've already had a bad season, but we're really closer to our solution than we are farther away, in my opinion. I think that if they make some hard decisions this offseason with either asking Debo to take a pay cut or releasing him, then he's got to go. He's not. I don't believe you should pay $20+ million for what he's given us. They shot him a solid and gave him and restructured his deal and gave him a bonus up front. So he got lump sum money up front. I think it's time for him to show a little bit of faith and, kind of, come on, man, read the room. You didn't have a good season. And and contracts are for what you're going to do, not for what you have done. Right. So, but for me, I think that they should rebuild. I think they should let go of Kyle Juszczyk. They've already said they're going to let go of Javon Hargraves. I think they need to let go of Deebo Samuel. I think they need to restructure. I think they need to restructure Trent if he can't give us full seasons. It's time to have a real conversation. They need to let go of Jake Brindle. They need to let Aaron Banks walk if he doesn't do a team-friendly deal. They need to sign Jay Greenlaw, let go of Huff, and let Mooney Ward walk. It's for the money. It's what it is. Right now, and for me, the reason why I think that that's strong is because we need draft picks. We don't have depth. Our issue is that we're not as young as we used to be. We don't have the depth that we used to have, and it shows. So the biggest issue that we have right now is we're not recognizing the silver lining of this entire shit cloud, which is we got 3 starters out of this year's draft in Malik Mustafa, Renardo Green, and Dominic Pooney. That's huge. That's what we need to be paying attention to. We don't need to be going into free agency like these hard up teams who are still trying to be relevant. We need to go into the draft, rejuvenate the roster, all right, and then let competition push these other guys out. We're getting way too caught up on name recognition and actual performance.
I want to hear. I know I'm about to go, but I want to hear you talk about this. Well, you get this out there. Let's trade Nick Bosa for draft picks. Now let me hear what you guys say about that, and I'm gonna go.
I'll talk about that later in the show, but I get at you, bro. Conrad, we good. Chef Tommy, you up? I got some guys waiting. Chef Tommy, what's good, baby?
What's happening?
What's going on, bro? Talk to me.
I don't know how you can rebuild behind like 4 Pro Bowlers. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think definitely got to rebuild the trenches because the trenches are trash.
Right.
But I don't know if it's a full-blown rebuild. But we definitely are not going to be in. We're not going into free agency at all. There's no money, especially if we're going to pay Brock Purdy. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think it's. I don't think it's a full rebuild, but
why don't you think it's a full rebuild, Tommy?
Because we got too many good players on here to, you got Kittle, we got Warner, and we're gonna bring back Greenlaw. You got Ayuk still, like a stupid ass contract. I cannot believe they signed.
But think about this, Chef. Think about this, Tommy. Do you honestly believe that if Brandon Ayuk comes back and he does not replicate the performance or the level of play that he had before he got hurt? Exactly. Okay. And I don't want to speak out of, you know what I mean? Like we don't know yet. But if we're being fair, it's looking like it may not be that way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't think the Niners are going to sit him down and have a conversation with him?
I would. He's not even going to be available till like mid-season anyway. So I might as well just say we don't have him next season. So
So I think that this is the deal. You know how you lose weight the same way you put it on. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know how you get out of these contracts the same way you got them signed. And what I mean by that is when the organization was pushing back. And when the organization was pushing back, these deals got done because of context, because Kyle came in and put the hand on the situation, and then the deals got done. So the same way Kyle got deals done in the 11th hour with Trent and running up the stairs to get Brandon Ayuk's deal done and calming Debo down from a trade request, the way Kyle came in and did all that, hey, control your dog, man. You need to come in here and do the same thing with those boys and sit them down. The same way. If not, I got to say that those relationships are fugazi. They're one-sided. Because the relationship is supposed to be with context like, hey, man, I know the going market of what you want. I believe in you, right? As a coach, I believe in you. I'm going to push for you. But at the same time, you got to still be just as fervent when the guy is not producing. And you got to sit him down and say, hey, we can't do this. Yeah. You know I love you. But not at this price. You're hurting the team at this price. We got to restructure it. We don't want to disrespect you, but at the same time, you got to help us out. And that's what I believe should happen because they've shown that they can do that in the inverse. So now they need to show that they can do it now on the reverse. Like they got to be able to show it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I could feel that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I think if they didn't trade up for Trey Lance, which is I didn't even like the trade up as it is. So that obviously that cost us first round picks and probably a lot more depth on the D line. Because look at how many first round guys we got on the D line now. One. Yeah, in 2019, how many? Like 3, right? Because Armstead,
Buckner, 4.
And
Bosa,
Ford
Solomon Thomas.
Oh shit! Forgot about Solly.
Yeah.
But what about? Wait, is that D. Fraud? Was he a freaking first round pick for the Chiefs?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So look at that, man. And we missed out on so many. Now we just got a bunch of scrubs on the D line.
Yeah. I mean, right now.
Or backups. or rotational. That's what they are.
But that's also D4 was a first round pick too.
Wow. That's why it's so good.
I know. So, but I just think that they can go back and they can restructure some things. They need to go back and redo some things. And honestly, the biggest issue is the trenches. It's the trenches. In my opinion, they have shown that they are really good at disappointing us over what we think they should get versus what they actually go and draft and acquire.
I know, right? God.
But
Ricky Pearsall pick for number 1. I was like, what is this? Who is this? I've never heard of him. He doesn't look special to me. He looks small, but he's not, of course. But
he's not. Ricky's growing on me, Chef.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's got good hands, unlike Brick Hands Debo. Debo and Ronnie Bell, they must be twin brothers or something.
It's got to be crazy. Hey, give me a prediction real quick before we get out of here, man. I'm going to get Warren up.
Right. Prediction?
For off-season or this game that we got coming up. Rebuild? Or are they going to rebuild or are they going to reload? And how do you feel about the game? Close me out.
I think they're going to reload. That's what I think. But I think I'm starting to go on your side. I think they need to rebuild. I mean, even though we have a soft-ass schedule, I think because we can't spend money in free agency. They got to rely on the draft. So if they don't have a stellar draft like they did this year, it's going to be a long season, no matter who the hell we're playing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, and I got the Fraudinals winning by like 3 points because we can't beat anybody.
I got you, man. Hey, I'll talk to you, brother. Thanks, man.
All right, have a good one. Thanks for having me.
No problem, bro. All right, let's get a super chat out the way. James Donith, Coach, what do you think of Isaiah Bond, wide receiver, Texas? First of all, let me tell you something about Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond was first with the Crimson Tide. Okay, so let's get that straight first. We lost Isaiah Bond. All right. And I think that Isaiah Bond is ridiculously talented. I'm talking about 6 foot. Isaiah Bond's like 6 foot, 185. He's a true 4.2. He plays at 4.2. 4.2 speed. Deep ball, merchant, can take the top off any defense. Tough, can block. He needs to work on his route running because he is really fast. So there's that. But one thing about Isaiah Bond that we all had a problem with Danny Gray, he's got great hands. Isaiah Bond has remarkable hands. So with that 4.2 speed, we just got to get a quarterback that can get to him. No shade. So look, Warren Smith. Let's go, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Talk to me.
Remember I told you I'm beginning to see what we should do?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Was I right or was I wrong?
You were right. You're right. So, hey, rebuild or reload?
Try to rebuild the trenches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't win the Super Bowl in those trenches, bro.
True.
Offensive line, D-line. What I see is like you say, guards and center. I think we'll have hell in the wide receiver room.
Well, I mean, for me, offensive line right now is I would kind of chill on tackles. In my opinion, I would trade back at 11, and I'd pick up Tate Ratledge, guard out of Georgia. That's my guy. I love him. I think that Tate Ratledge is probably one of the best guards out here. 6'6", 330, absolute monster. And really, honestly, I think that in the second round, we could pick up Jonah Monheim, the center out of USC. He's another dog, very, very fleet of foot. I mean, he's kind of weird in the fact that he fits our run scheme and the fact that he's very fast. He can get to the second level. He can run outside zone. He can reach 3 techniques, but he's 6'5". He's 320 pounds. So you get the best of both worlds, right? So for me, I'm already looking at interior offensive line, interior defensive line, things that they can pick up because really, honestly, if we don't have trenches, we don't have an identity. This is just how we feel.
And Bryce Purdy running for his life.
Yeah.
That's like a good side of Purdy and bad side of Purdy. I like, so the good side of it, he can read the defense and stuff like that. But Kyle need to know he need to rebuild the offensive line. He need to get the offensive line so keep him upright so he don't have to be running for life just about all the time.
Yeah, especially if we're going to pay Brock.
Right. And
right.
If he don't, it's going to be hell for our wide receiver. And I like to me, like Debo, they need to come to him like straight, man, you need to work out with Jared Rice and then cut your pay.
Yeah, I mean, look, like we said, there's going to be a conversation with Debo. We talked about it with the last caller. There's going to be a conversation with Debo with what they do. I don't foresee them walking into his contract and just paying him. I do believe that they would ask him for a pay cut. I mean, you look at what he's due to make right now. Next year, Debo Samuel is due. What does he due to make? Restructure. In 2025, Debo's going to make $15 million next year. In 2025. That can't happen, bro.
Yeah, at least about 8.
8. Give me 8, bro. Take a haircut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I'm just looking at it like this. We got all these Hall of Famers like in the past. I'm trying to figure out why they don't work out with them. Say
that again?
We got all these Hall of Famers like Jared Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana. Why they in all season, why they don't pick their brains a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's more of a cultural thing. I don't think it's more of a mandate. You'd like to see it, but obviously these guys go off everywhere into their own little, training facilities in the off season. So, you like to see it just to kind of, see it passed forward, the knowledge. But really, these guys just have to come back healthy. My biggest thing with the guys, I'm more focused on the overall team. But if you want to talk about the core, I think the common denominator for the core is you guys need to get healthy. All of them. Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel needs to come back in better shape, even though he's supposedly supposed to be coming back in the best shape of his life. I mean, the only guys outside of the core that I think played to their level, I'd say was George Kittle for sure.
Yeah.
Fred Warner played very well. Nick Bosa had moments where he looked like Nick Bosa. But
that game was the best game.
Deommodore Lenoir had a phenomenal season, in my opinion. But outside of that, everybody else was kind of lackluster.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to figure out just in hands, you know what I'm saying? If you want to be the best wide receiver or the best, you got so many greats, you'd be like, damn, if I could pick his brain and I could work out with him, I just think about Debo. He ain't the best right runner in the world. But if you let's say you go into Jared Rice for maybe about 2 or 3 weeks, he'll learn a few things, learn some tricks of the trade, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He'd be a better right runner. That's all I'm saying.
Hell yeah. But hey, man, love the conversation. Give me a prediction for today's game so we can get out of here.
Oh man. Hope we win. We're fighting effort, but I'll say 21-20.
Niners?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Hey, get in here for the watch party tomorrow, man. I'll holler at you.
Gotcha.
All right, bro. Manhattan John, what's good? MGM Productions, we can send super chats. We just got a super chat. What's up, brother?
Yo, man, how you been?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. We haven't talked since Dallas week, and we've seen a lot go on with the team since then.
My word. Yeah, that's an understatement. Talk to me. What you got? Rebuild or reload?
I think those are just semantics because honestly, the line on both sides is a rebuild. We're going to reload in the secondary and some of the offensive weapons based on which players are going to give us a discount or which ones aren't, right? If Huff really wants to stay and we can make the numbers work, I think that would probably be a good investment for us to keep Huff.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm not sure that just plugging in Malik Mustafa and putting him next to Jair Brown, that those two young guys are going to figure it out, whether Gipp is around or not. So I think that's an investment we should make. Dre Greenlaw is a must. The defense plays totally different when Dre is playing. So those are two moves that I'm pretty concerned with. What you just said about looking for the best guard at spot 11, for me, that's a little bit rich. Because
no, I said trade back.
trade back and get the best guard. Okay,
Yeah.
that's different. Because
That's what I said, yeah.
I think you could probably do better than a guard, and you don't.
Yeah.
That high
At pick 11, all right, okay, so let me say this. At pick 11, I want best available. Period.
What if it's that tight end, though?
Pick them up.
Really?
If we at pick 11, I want best available. If there's a great tackle, you pick him up. If there's a great pass rusher, if he's worth the 11th overall pick, our issue is that I don't think that we have young elite talent on this team. That's a problem, right? All of these guys are elite in their own right, but they're kind of like statesmen of the position where they're getting older and now their names are a little bit heavier than their performance. You know what I'm saying? So now I need the way good teams stay, for lack of a better term, good is competition. You need to compete. I don't care if you know what, if you go get that tight end at 11 and that's what it is, then you know what, Kyle? It is your job to run double tight and to figure out how to, you see what I'm saying? Like, it can't always be about the scheme.
If you make the case that he's George Kittle's heir apparent and he's really is a generational guy and that's how you're going to use the 11th pick, you better show us some bread and butter on offense, like some Patriots double tight end sets with both guys scoring, like, and some creativity.
Yes, agreed. That's my biggest issue. Where I'm like, where I feel as though that, all right, we have picked for need way too much. And it's kind of bitten us, even to the point where we picked. God love Ricky Pearsall. I don't want to dump on him, but he was a reach. It was a reach, bro. Like, you don't pick up a first round pick at slot unless he has some type of elite trait where he is an Xavier Worthy, where it's like, you know what? He's not polished. He's a little raw, but he's a blazer. He's a demon. He's a, it's like, all right, that's something that you can use immediately, right? But, enough of this picking for need. We don't need it, bro. We need to get best available.
I agree. And if best available were a center, I think that would be the most impactful thing we could do, is just fixing the Jake Brendel problem and making it work with the rest of our guys. Now, we could get a center and a guard and trade back. That would be money. Because last summer, I was the one who was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to run right. And you're like, we're not. And then Pooney made it so we could run right. And we saw how much better the offense looked when everyone was healthy, being so able to run right. So if we could get another guard that's elite, maybe we could run left.
Hey, look, all roads lead to physicality. And we're the ones who started this conversation. When we were at our best, we were going around and we were bludgeoning teams. It's just the truth. All right.
2019 running game with Raheem Mostert is like what we could get back to easily, and we already have the backs to do it, but they got to invest on the line. I think
100%. And my thing is that we can't be upset that when we led the team, when we led the league, when we were quote unquote the best team walking, the best roster, what did we do? We put every GM and every team on notice. We got to go get offensive line. Guess who went out and handled that? Philly. Guess who went out and did that? The Vikings. Guess who looked at us and said, we're not losing to these cats anymore? The Lions. When they came back and almost beat us in week 3. Remember that? When they almost came back and beat us and we beat, and they saw, nah, man, we got to get a better team. The Packers. So for us, I still think you should build through the draft. I don't want to go heavy in free agency because I feel like that's more of the reload side of things. But it's time to get younger. It's time to get more competitive. We still got, if you just look at this year's draft was a success. We've got 3 starters out of this year's draft. That's huge. With a contributor in Ricky Pearsall, which is the first round pick, and a special teams guy in Jacob Cowing. So
I don't agree that we blew the first round pick. I would call it a push right now. And if he actually does become productive and plays to his potential, then this would be the best draft we've had in 4 years. Which brings me to the question of who made those picks. Was it Lynch? Was it Peters? Or was it Kyle?
Well, right now, Adam Peters is looking so. Yo, let me tell you something, man. They love him out here. I'm in the DC area, bro. They are so thrilled that they got Adam Peters, bro. It's ridiculous, man. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, you look at it as that Kyle has a lot to do with the first 3 picks of the draft. The organization really does a lot of the developmental draft picks later in the draft. So you would have to say that, it's kind of a
too. Like, so look, dude, Kittle and Juice are old. Kittle's still performing. Juice didn't, which is so weird about the Detroit game because for the first time it looked like Juice was hitting his blocks and moving people. And so maybe it was a matter of motivation. I don't know, but like Kyle's offense needs a fullback and a tight end to run it. So like,
can I say this though? Can I say this? I love what we did against Detroit, and I feel bad for Detroit because they got a great story, but that defense is bad.
Yeah, they're beat up.
That defense is beat up. The defense is really beat up. So I love what we did against Detroit, but in a way, it's almost like being proud of the Bears game. That defense was beat up for the Lions. So they weren't themselves.
No, that's fair to say. Do you think like Kyle actually showed us some growth by coming out to that press conference and saying, hey, the reason the way the team is like, it's my fault? That was in the past couple of weeks, and that was the first time I'd ever seen that. And I was like thinking, do you think he said that because his dad told him to say it? Or because Jed said you have to say something, like you have to take ownership and not scapegoat? Or is it really like he's turned over a leaf, he's seen as bad as it can get, and he's going to change?
Well, I think that he's the highest paid coach in American sports without a championship.
Yeah.
That's a fact. No coach in professional sports makes more money than Kyle Shanahan annually without a championship. Kyle makes $14 million a year and pulled out a 6-10 season. I mean, at some point, the rubber's got to meet the road, and you just got to, have self-awareness. I'm not really into giving Kyle points for being normal. You know what I mean? Like, any coach is supposed to be able to take responsibility for a failing season. What I will say is that it's different for him. Growth is growth, right? So it is different. But it's been 8 years, John. Kyle is who he is, bro. Even if there is a blip or there's something different, I wouldn't charge it to like true growth. You know what I mean?
Well, pick 1 and pick 3 are going to show us, right?
That's true.
The 3rd round pick is the best running back that Kyle thinks is available. Then we'll know what we're in for. Like,
we're sitting here looking at Jake Moody now. So what's that tell you?
Well, that's a great topic, and like I'm of the mind that the worst thing we could do would be to throw that kid on the scrap heap and then have him go become one of the greatest kickers in the NFL for another team. Because like I think he deserves a chance to compete through camp, and we should see what he does in this next game. Like, I'm not down with just cutting him, because if the new kicking rules are the best thing you can do is get out of the back of the end zone, finding that kicker that has the leg strength to do that doesn't seem like it's automatic. Finding someone who's good at field goals seems like something you can fix. But finding a leg like Jake Moody's that can hit him from 55 yards out, like, the game has kind of changed, and I think we have the right guy, but only if he can fix himself.
All right, so one thing I will say is that Jake Moody's hurt. He's not all the way back. All right, so we got to be fair. I have let him have it on the live shows. But for what it's worth, he's not healthy. All right, so yes, being a 3rd round pick, there's also a sense of like, not only is it what he deserves, but it's how the organization looks treating a 3rd round pick. That's not going to go over well across the league, right? So even if they are critical of him, I do see that. I do see them making him fight for his job this year. He'll compete, right? But I will also say this: sometimes just because somebody went somewhere else and did better doesn't necessarily mean that he would have done better here. Maybe the change of environment is really what you need in order for him to feel comfortable. So it's not necessarily, we should have waited on him, but it was, hey man, you can't unring that bell. He's got to go.
Yeah, dude.
He can't be here.
You can't lose a game by 6 when your kicker cost you 7 points. It's pretty brutal.
Right. But then at the same time, though, it's like you can't have Debo, chastising. Like, it's like going at the kicker after a missed kick is it's the one thing where everybody else can do it. You can't do it though. Like you can't be the teammate. Like I have been on the sidelines where I wanted to strangle the kicker. Where I'm like, you guys don't do shit. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, we practice. We go through everything.
You want that
you
kicker to make the next one? The worst thing you could do is psych him out and get in his head by choking him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Devo? I just don't touch him. Just leave him alone. Even when he misses, don't even look at him. Like, hey,
he's in his own mental prison already.
Let him do his thing. Right. So, hey, man, give me a prediction before we get out of here, man. Casey Gold, you're up next. Casey Cole.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Niners are going to lose this one, but it's going to be based on coaching. Like, I think Kyle will withhold pieces and just see if Josh Dobbs can, like, dominate. And I think he's just going to keep taking pieces out of the game until he gets the outcome of us losing to protect the draft pick. So I'm going to say Niners, like, 21, Cardinals, 28.
Damn. All right, brother. Hey, great for calling in, man. See you at the live show tomorrow, bro.
Yep, later.
Talk to you. All right, let's get a super chat in here real quick before we get Casey up here. James Donith, what about you wait for the tight end in draft? Arande Gadsden, the second tight end out of Syracuse, 6'5", 4'5". James, me and you, we got some you. I like you, James. James trying to get the draft going. I got a lot going on with the draft, guys. We're gonna do some film review. We gotta have a whole O-line, D-line extravaganza. We're going to go through all of it. All right? So stay tuned. KC, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's going on, Coach? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How you been?
I'm chilling, man. Can't complain. Shout out to the DMV, too. I used to live there, 10, 12 years ago.
Bet. Where apart?
Loudoun County.
Okay. I know where you at. Yeah.
Yeah, so I literally lived 5 minutes away from the at the time, the Skins.
Yeah.
Facility, yeah.
Sure. When they was routing to Ashburn.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So what you got for me, man?
Yeah, listen, man. Do I think they need to rebuild? Absolutely. But
okay.
I think they're going to reload it just because, one, they missed the playoffs this year. So there's mad pressure on them to make the playoffs this year. And then their schedule is just
it's soft.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally playing. I think I was counting. It's 7 teams that are drafting ahead of them that they're playing this year. So I don't think there's a chance that they're going to rebuild this thing. I think if they were to rebuild, one of the things I would do, and I know you said you were going to talk about it later, trade Bosa, get an extra first-round pick this year. So you have 2 first-round picks this year. Because, again,
y'all are really serious about this trade Bosa thing, and I got to be honest, this isn't even on my radar. Y'all, talk to me about this. What's your pathology? Why do you want to trade Nick?
He's not playing like the top paid defensive player in the league. He doesn't pop on the field like Myles Garrett or TJ Watt. Those dudes pop off the screen. I don't get that same impact from game to game to game. He had a good game this past week, but up until that point, one, he'd been hurt, but two, he can go missing, and he doesn't quite still know how to face those double teams as he should, in my opinion. So, to me, I think you could potentially find a guy who could be about 75% of him with that pick 11, or maybe even in the second round. That's just my opinion.
All right, so look, man, if we traded Nick Bosa before June 1 this year, right? No. Yeah, this year. That'd be a $55.2 million dead cap hit.
Yeah, I don't know about that now.
Come on, bruh. That's nuts. Okay, and all right, so look, he's due to make, what does he make annually? He makes $34 a year.
Yep.
So he makes $34 a year. Next year, he's gonna be a $20 million cap hit. Look, in 2026, he'll be a $42 million cap hit. That's when I think you would start looking at whether he's worth it or not. But right now, I get it. Nick Bosa isn't necessarily Nick Bosa. I understand that. But how can I say this? Without him, the defensive line there's literally nothing there.
Right.
And I think that one thing that we will say that I will say is that the advantage to Nick Bosa is to watch him play with other good players. He's not a Myles Garrett, in my opinion, where he could just be a cornerstone guy that's going to get his numbers week in and week out. And that's what we want to pay for. We want to pay $34 million a year where it's like, dude, this dude is like taxes. He just works, like, period. You know what I mean? And I feel as though that we don't see that out of Nick Bosa at times, especially with the injury history. I can understand why you guys would say that, but look, man, it's just the cap hit would be ridiculously crazy, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's a crazy hit. That's a crazy
hit.
Yeah,
that's a crazy cap hit. $52 million to trade him this year, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe might want to punt that maybe the next season or the season after. I don't know. But
yeah, bro.
One other thing I did want to discuss was the Purdy thing.
Okay.
I know they're going to pay him. I know they are. I do think that they have an opportunity to be that one team that actually can take a stance and just say, dude, you're not elite. You're not one of the top 5 guys. To me, there's only 5 guys that deserve that 50+ million.
Right.
My opinion.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
And you can see what guys like Tua, the Dax, the Trevor Lawrences, and what they're doing to their teams. They're taking up so much of that cap. And those aren't the quarterbacks that can elevate those around them. I don't even think Jalen Hurts is worth that type of money, but they've done an exceptional job building the offense around him with their offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy, but he's got tons of talent around him.
He's got everything. So Howard Roseman has done the best job of putting him in the best situation that he could possibly be in. So it's justified. And my thing is, Brock Purdy at $1 million this year, we couldn't even make the playoffs. What's going to happen when we end up breaking him off? What I don't know, like $50 million. Granted, it's all going to come down to the guarantees and whatnot, and whether we have an out.
Right.
But if we lose this year, right? If we don't make the playoffs, I think Kyle and John, I think everyone's gone. And so I don't want to extend Purdy because I feel like if they're gone, I think he's got to be gone because who the hell's going to want to coach Purdy next year if they're gone?
Well, really, Kyle Shanahan just put out quotes that he thinks Brock has had a hell of a year. He said that. Like, hold on.
Wise those 2 years, and so be able to watch him go through some adversity and be in some tougher situations, and I think that's why he's had to scramble a little more. He's found ways to make some plays with his legs. He's had some tough games that he's had to bounce back from, which he always does. But I think Brock's had a hell of a year. There's always things that we can improve on, which we'll look into all that when we get back here in the offseason. But it's never, you always want everything to go right. But I do think when things aren't perfect and they seem like things aren't going the right way, I think sometimes in the long run, it can be one of the best things that happen to you if you learn from it and get better. And this was the first season Brock had to go through where things weren't exactly right. The guys around him did get hurt. Our team wasn't quite as good. We were in some tougher situations, and to watch Brock go through that and handle it the way he did just proves again, like he has for all 3 of these years, that we got the right guy.
No. Bro, the last 3 weeks, he threw the game away. Picks in the 4th quarter. You can't have that. No. Now all of a sudden he's dealing with adversity. What's Mahomes dealing with every year?
Hey,
look, what Josh Allen? What's his weapons looking like?
I'm just telling you, it's important to listen to these dudes when they get on their radio. They love the radio because it's a controlled environment. They get the easy questions. But they also, when they get comfortable, when Kyle gets comfortable, he says shit like this. And this was recent. This was yesterday. So, look, Kyle has said that Brock Purdy's had a hell of a year. They think that this is a mulligan based on he hasn't had everything around him. And they think that they have their guy because, in my opinion, you can't think that Brock Purdy is your trigger man unless you want to reload all of the guys that you think are going to come back into form.
Yeah. True.
Give me a prediction, man.
They better lose. They better. I want
you want that 11 pick.
Don't. What they can't do is they can't do what Deebo Samuel did a couple weeks ago. Start playing out of nowhere, get touchdowns, get a win or whatever, and then just mess up our draft stock.
Yo,
it's too late. It's too late.
Niners 55-0. They gonna blow these dudes out. I know they gonna have everybody hot.
Bro, Debo been burning me up these last 2 weeks, man.
Hey, man, love the call, man. Call back again, bro.
Will do, man.
Talk to
Appreciate you.
Mikey.
Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's up, brother? What you got for me, man? Rebuild or reload?
Well, I actually just said it in the chat, so I can go back to what I just said. It's kind of a mix with me.
Okay.
First of all, I gotta tell you, brother, I think it's best to go ahead and reload the O-line because he needs help. He needs people to block for Purdy. You can't put all the blame. I hear this all the time, all the different shows. They're putting the blame on Purdy. You can't do that. You can't put it all on him. There's just no way you can't do that. In order to have an effective quarterback, you got to have people around you, especially very competent tight ends, very competent running backs. You got to have an O-line that can block for you, for Christ's sake, so you don't get killed, so that you don't just run around like a chicken with its head cut off and run down the field. And I saw that those last 3 games. It's just not pretty. It's not pretty at all, Purdy. To throw in some lineage in there. As far as so reload the O-line. The kicking game, for Christ's sake, please, let's fix that thing. Let's rebuild that whole thing. Let's do that.
You want to let go of Jake, or you want to let him?
No, let go of him. No. Yeah, no.
You want him gone?
Don't keep Jake Moody, man. No way. No.
Wow. Okay.
I understand he was injured, right? I get that.
Right.
I understand. But look, the mind is a strong thing. It can overcome any adversity whatsoever, including injuries to your ankle, right? That was the problem.
Right.
I got it. I understand it. I mean, I've seen my nephew play football with greater injuries, and he still plays through it. Still at a MVP like level. You just gotta rebuild the whole damn thing. Just like, I just said in chat too, I said, Wishnowski, let him do the kicks then. If you want to finish out the season with a bang, let that guy do it, okay? And let Purdy hold the damn football. And play.
Yeah, whatever happened to the quarterback being the holder? I feel like that's gone now.
It is gone. What's the fear? Is somebody going to kick him in the head by mistake instead of the football when he tried to put through an extra point or a field goal? Come on.
Got no clue,
Come
bro.
on. Right? Get him out there. As far as defense, I think what you need to do is upgrade it. Now you got some good players, like I said, Mustafa. You got Warner. You got Bosa still there. And you got some good players there. I think what you do is you upgrade. Okay, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm going out and I'm getting some really good defensive players. Okay, first of all.
Through the draft or through free agency?
The draft and free agency. Well, not free agency. No. In the draft first. Take care of that. Free agency comes later. You take care of that later. Do the draft. Do yourself the draft. Do yourself a favor and get some really good defensive people to back you up, because you got to upgrade that defensive line. That's just a crazy ass thing going on down there. I've seen it. I mean, they've had moments, but then there's other times where you go like, "Oh, come on!" You got to have people around you. You got to benefit those people around you, which is definitely true. And I got to pick for you.
Let's go.
So Cam Scatterboo, man, we got
another Scatterbooite. Here we go.
We got Scatterboo, man. I'm an ASU alum, man. Come on. We got Ayuk, but Ayuk, he's testy at best, right? So
okay,
Ayuk. Get the man on the same page. But I'm guaranteeing you this: if you take Scatterboo as a running back, you will not be sorry. You will not be sorry.
All right. So okay. So you answered the question. We're gonna close out. But what would you take Scatterboo as a fullback, or would you take him as a running back?
I use him in both situations. If he's close in, use him as the fullback to go in and get that TD.
I don't mind Scatterboo at H-back. I don't know about tailback.
Oh, okay. Well, I know he can do some runs, but for the close, I mean, it's like you say. I think he's good at halfback and also fullback. I think he's great when you get it down there to the bottom of the line, like when you're literally less than 10 yards. Give it to Cam. Cam will get you the touchdown 99% of the time, right?
Pretty much. Guy. Hey, give me a prediction for this Arizona game.
I think I already said it. I like the Niners. I think Kyler Murray's, they're going to shut him down, just kind of like chill out, do whatever. Because they're not in the playoffs either. So I say 28-29ers. I think they're
All
going to
right,
win.
man. Hey, man, thanks for the call, Mikey.
Hey,
call
brother,
back.
thank you for having me up. I will. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Bay Area Kev, what's good, babe?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Talk to me, dog. What's good?
Bro, man, first of all, let me
Let me ask. Rebuild or reload?
Man, what I want is a rebuild, but you already know they're probably just gonna go reload, probably overpay a couple guys that are up for contracts and pay Purdy $75 million and keep it pushing and think things are gonna be different. But I mean, I'm really leaning towards a full rebuild, man. I've been saying this since 22. Like we keep hitting our head on the glass ceiling, man. Not winning the championship. It's going to be harder to get free agents in here, and we keep missing our high draft picks, man. So I say just rebuild it from the bottom up.
Bet. All right, man. So how you felt about the season moving forward?
Well, I mean, so let me. So I've been in the military since 2017. So this is actually
what branch, man?
Being home for Navy.
Okay.
This is my first time actually being home for a full season. This is my first season since I was 18, getting to watch it from beginning to end. And man, you want to talk about a straight disappointment coming off the Super Bowl, man. So like, I'm just kind of feeling like, it's really a turning point, man. Everybody on the roster who's a proven star is going to be a year older, man. Like you're talking about a 29-year-old Fred Warner, a 29-year-old Christian McCaffrey. Kittle's going to be 32. You got Purdy getting banged up every season. Like all I want to see is, man, you talk about bringing the East Coast flavor all the time. I just want him to be like Big Daddy Kane, man. No half-stepping.
Yes.
If you're going to keep Purdy, man, like actually build around him. Let's get some big receivers who can beat man coverage, got big wingspans. Let's rebuild the trenches. If you're going to be, wishy-washy about whether or not he's the guy, then, man, just cut chalks, man. Get him out of here. Let's talk.
I think that he's viable. I coined it Golden Gate Brock. But
yeah, I heard that a couple weeks ago, man.
Yeah. And for me, I think that he's a bridge to something that we could pick up in the draft. I believe that the biggest issue is just the systemic ones here. Like right now, like Brock Purdy is the symptom. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Garoppolo is the symptom, right? Jared Goff and CJ Beathard and Trey Lance, and they're the symptom. Kyle Shanahan is the disease.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? And he's got to fix the fact that he doesn't know how to develop quarterbacks. Or at the very least, do what every smart person has ever done who's a leader. Find somebody who can and pay him to do it.
Yes.
Okay? But don't act like it's not supposed to be getting done. Don't act like it's just because you can't do it, it's not important. Don't do that.
Nah, man, I agree with you 100%. And I hope if somebody takes this clip and puts it on Twitter, they're going to be coming for your neck. But, I mean, real talk, like, I agree with you. I mean, from what I can see, man, like, I'm 26. I grew up post-Steve Young, post-Dynasty, you know what I mean? This has been really the story of my whole life watching this team. Is like we come close with pretty much a mid-quarterback, fall short, and now the fan base is divided like, oh, is this really the guy? Whose fault is it? And I go on social media and the fan base just ripping each other apart, man. Like
it's what we do, bro.
Either Shanahan is the greatest coach in the NFL, even though he has no hardware for it, or Purdy's the worst, he's the best, he's top 5. You got David Lombardi muddying the waters out there, stirring the pot. Like my thing is like, I think what we've seen so far is that if we have a good offense, like a rising tide lifts all boats. You know what I mean? He's going to look better at it. Obviously, he's not going to throw the team on his back and carry him. And I'm fine with that. As long as the pay reflects that reality, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean?
I agree with that too, man. Kev, I agree with that. Like, it's not that, and I feel like sometimes when you get caught up in the debate, it can get shifted into, well, you don't want him to make any money, or you think he deserves to get paid like a scrub. And it's like, no.
It's not hating, man.
Nobody's saying that. What we're saying is that I just want the performance to replicate the paycheck. Yeah. And because of that, Kyle just said it. What was his number one? What was basically the energy around that whole snippet that I played earlier on, which is the injuries. He hasn't had everybody around him. He hasn't had he hasn't had his starting left tackle. He hasn't had these players. It's like, all right now, if you're going to say that, then what at least you need to do is make sure that he has the best around him. And you can't do that if you pay him $50 million a year.
Right, man, listen, man, I'm cool. I already knew coming into training camp, seeing all the guys who were getting banged up, we were not going to make it to a Super Bowl. I don't think any team has ever lost a Super Bowl and then gone back. That's fine. I was cool with that. If your numbers are down or the team ain't winning as much with injuries, that's fine. But you can't be throwing picks, man. The fourth quarter, like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? I see people on Twitter making excuses that our O-line is too tall, and that's not fair to him because he can't see over him. That's why he's sailing passes. Like, bro, what are we talking about?
Twitter is not a real place, bro. Twitter is not a real place.
That's what I'm seeing, man. Because I just got on there a couple months ago because I'm not back home in Northern California no more. So there's not a lot of Niner fans around me. So I'm like, you know what? Let me start having conversations, see if other fans are seeing the same things I'm seeing during the game, and so it's like being in the Twilight Zone. Like, I don't even know what's going on.
Give me a prediction real quick before I get you out of here, man.
I think the Niners are going to lose, but I'm not going to predict the score, nothing like that. But what I will tell you is I think Dobbs is probably going to play pretty well. And going into the offseason with the Purdy contract, the last thing that a lot of people are going to remember is Dobbs playing well, and that's going to be added to the debate somehow. So I think Dobbs is going to play well, but I think Niners are going to lose and keep pushing to that number 11 pick, baby.
You know what's crazy? That's a really good observation by you, Kev, because Dobbs potentially is auditioning for his next team anyway. So I'd expect him to try his level best to do really good.
Yep, against his old team too.
Oh, hell. Yo, you a dog. All right, bro. I'll talk to you, Kev.
All right, be easy, man.
All right, let's get a super chat out the way. Trav Stewart, my man, Trav. Coach, awesome season for you. Thank you, brother. And James Force, $5. Thank you. Bosa not getting traded to take a $50 million cap hit. I agree as well. Naka, what's good, homie? What up, dog?
Broccoli, what's going on, Coach?
What's good?
Man, I'm just out here with the family getting some groceries, man. You know I got to tap in.
Oh, man, Naka love the kids.
Hey, Trick love the kids. How you been, though?
I've been doing good, bro. Just getting through, like, the holiday season was dope. Spent a lot of time with family. Got a lot of things done. New Year's was dope. Spent it with my girl. So, right now we just getting back into the swing of things, trying to close out this season, man. What about you, baby?
Same thing, man. Just spending lots of time with the family. I'm a big family man, so anytime I can, I'm always trying to spend as much as I can with I got a 16-month-old, you know what I mean? And he's the world to me. So, yeah, man. But
rebuild or reload? Get at me.
Yeah, what's the difference, man? At the end of the day, I feel like it's all the same, but really reload. I don't think we need to truly rebuild and dismantle it. We got some cool players, rookies. I mean, Tooney, what was Green on defense? Like those two individuals really showed me Ricky. So we got a nice little core of young players. We just need to build around them. As far as, one thing I did wanted to say, though, since I touched on that, I gave you an A yesterday. I know you try to give yourself a little harder grade on the self-evaluation with Grant, but no, seriously, man, I think you've been killing it. You've been putting in the work. You've been giving us so much informative information, details, especially with that offensive line. That's what really kind of like put me really on your side is when I watched you break down the offensive line and the footwork. I said, man, I've watched a lot of these casts on YouTube, and none of them are breaking down the footwork. None of them are telling you, okay, he needs to move his hips. He needs to do this. His hands placement, everything to the T, how you broke it down. I was like, okay, I'm going to definitely follow this brother for a while because of what he's saying. So I gave you an A on that.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man, because, sometimes we're our worst critics, but, you need to hear it, and you're definitely doing that. Can't wait to see what you bring next year. But as far as the Niners, man, that Broccoli needs he needs an offensive line. There's no way around it. Trent Williams, we got to figure that out because I don't see him playing a full season next year. Like we need to get ourselves ready for his exodus. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna happen. And then as far as what we can do with the roster, like I've said before, Debo, Bosa, Moody, and Mooney, right? Get them all gone. Get them out of there. Get some draft picks, and let's rebuild, or not rebuild, but let's work around the players that we got now. I think Broccoli is good enough, but I don't think Broccoli's worth 50 million. You know what I mean? Because there's been too many times where he's cost us the game. So yeah, that's my little shit.
Bet. Give me a prediction before I get you out of here, bro.
Man, I really I hate to say I want to see the Niners lose, but only just to protect the draft. So I would say 21-17.
Bet. Hey, man, you know I love your calls, man. Get at me next time, bro.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Much love, man.
All right. Hey, Keith, I want to get you up, bro, but you can't be driving while we're on live, bro. You got to park your car. Chris, I'm about to get you up now, brother. So go ahead, park your car for me, Keith, so we can be safe. Chris, what's good, brother?
How you doing? Hey,
I'm all right, man.
I've been following you for a minute, but I was always scared to get on this thing. I ain't been trying to get on this thing. It's weird to me. I'm a little older,
I'm with you. It was weird to me. The exposure is weird, but this is a safe space, bruh.
Oh,
I'm glad you took the leap, man. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I donated my first super chat at the beginning of the year. I feel like it was when Brandon Ayuk signed his contract. And I said, nah, bro, he ain't going to be able to stay with making that money. And you was like, you just missed it because financially it's not practical. But, I mean, I'm going to stick to my guns on that because, like, we haven't missed him. I mean, it would have been nice to have an A1 wide receiver, but he ain't. To me, he ain't the number one. And with Ricky Pearsall, I see Ricky Pearsall replicating a lot of what he do, running the same routes, getting open in the same way. So I feel like once you come back and Jawan, like you ain't never had no splash game like Jawan had against the Rams. Like you never done that before. So when you get back healthy and you come back in the building, it's gonna be real weird. And the best thing for you might be to leave at the end of the day. No hate, no shade, no nothing. But like,
so you think BA might be able to roll out?
Bruh, like you were saying a minute ago, let's bring him in here and competition is going to drive who stays. Now, when the competition don't say the same thing that the money say, it's going to be a problem. Because at the beginning of the year when he was struggling a little bit, the people calling the game was like, oh, there go that $35 million. Oh, this what you helped? It ain't going to work. It ain't going to be good for him.
Chris, I want you to look at this comment though.
Okay.
It was the Lions, man, and the Lions had a lot of guys out. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. I'm not talking about the Lions. I said what Jawan Jennings did against the Rams. You remember when he went off?
You did? All right. Want me. Okay.
So if you can't replicate that, and then the last time we seen you was dropping balls, I don't get how you stay. I don't get how you reconcile that with your point of we gonna let them compete and see who stays. I don't see how you reconcile that.
Okay. So look, here goes the deal. The deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. It is so easy to say that BA is not going to be the same. It really is easy to say that.
Well, hold on, coach. Let me interrupt you. I'm saying if you are the same, if you come back as the same guy,
you still would ask him to take a pay cut,
bruh. I'm gonna show you the door. Pay cut, like you gotta show me some Jamar Chase for that money you asked for. You asked for the most money you could ask for. So okay, show it to me. And
Chris,
if you can't have a game like Jawan Jennings had, bruh, like because with everybody else, it's all about performance. When we get on Brock, it's all about performance. Rubber to beat the road. Right. Okay. So I'm not asking you. You asked for the most money. You didn't ask for 28. 28 wasn't good enough.
Okay, now you cooking. Okay. He's cooking now. Okay.
So sometimes, like the boy Marcellus say, you gotta kill what you eat or eat what you kill. So
all right. So let me say. So all right. Okay. So Chris, Yeah, all right, I got you. So let me recant. Okay. Number one, we need at least 3 receivers to play with. Okay. So letting go of Brandon Ayuk and keeping a Ricky Pearsall, a Jawan Jennings, and a Deebo Samuel as our 1, 2, and 3. Come on, man.
No. Okay, but look.
That is not it.
But look, this is what I'm saying. Okay, Deebo Samuel, team guy. I believe Deebo Samuel gonna take that pay cut, and then he gonna take a pay cut where it makes sense that he's here. Let's just say, just play the scenario out. Let's say you got to get out of here, bro. It don't work. Sorry about that.
Nah. Hey man, we on daddy duty. I ain't mad.
Hey, listen. If Deebo, like he should, takes that pay cut, Kyle tells him, look, I had you looking right. I have you living high on the hog. When you really, when I was really like building you up with the scheme. So you got to take a pay cut now because it's lean time. So you take a pay cut.
So, I mean, but that, okay. So you all over the place now.
No.
First, hold on. Okay. At first, you're talking about trimming the fat on BA or letting him walk. Then you're talking about, now you're talking about trimming the fat on Deebo and letting him walk.
No, I didn't say
we only got, how many receivers you want to let go?
Hold on. Okay, so let me tell you. Jawan Jennings, he ain't the best wide receiver. But
he's not. Hold on, let me say this right now.
Yeah.
Because I see there's a lot of people who do this with Jawan.
What?
I love Harpo. Lord knows I do. I love some Jawan Jennings, all right?
Yeah.
I love Jawan Jennings.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he is not a number 1.
Right.
You got to one yourself. He is not a number 1. So with that said, as much as we love Jawan Jennings, as much as he does, as many times as he shows up for us, that is because he is operating either as a slot, as a de facto X, or as the number 2 receiver. Jawan Jennings is not suiting up at X week 1 and scaring anybody. So stop.
But
don't do that.
My point is, neither is BA.
Hold on. That remains to be seen off of what he comes back off his injury. Now, at this, hold on. You get paid for what you're gonna do, not what you already did. So BA already had $30 million per to prove, hey, all of this crap that you gave us over the offseason, you got to show us you worth it, brother. You got to show up and show out. Now, he got hurt, but the thing about it now is that you can't go to the extreme while the man is sitting. BA is watching this show right now in an ice bath, brother. He ain't even healthy. And you're ready to get rid of him before he even gets back. He deserves, BA deserves the opportunity to show us what he can do once he gets back. And if we don't show that we are 100% behind him when he gets back, we look fucked up as an organization.
No doubt.
So we got to support him. We got to support him.
No doubt. And I'm all for, I'm not trying to embarrass you. We're not going to embarrass you or none of that. But I'm just saying, when we get in those back rooms and we start having real conversations, if you are not actually outperforming Ricky Pearsall, it's a problem. It's gonna because what I saw when I was at the Chiefs game. I went to and I watched a couple of other games where he didn't perform well. It didn't play well when you go out there and you drop the ball, but you insisted that Jaden Daniels could help you take your game to the next level. It didn't play well with the crowd that was there. It's not just us. It's not purely selfish that I'm talking about, the selfish reasons. It's not going to be good for you. They're not going to do the Ayukin when you catch the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Chris, I hate to put it to you that way, but that's narrative world. All of that shit is under the bridge. He got paid already, brother. All right. Okay. So all of that stuff. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, man, in order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. Shit happens when you're trying to get paid. All right.
No.
So
fine.
in the course of BA getting paid, a lot was said, a lot was done. The Niners said things, BA said things. At the end of the day, the man got his money. Now, I'll tell you this right now. The biggest thing that you got to realize is the conversation that you want to have can't happen as forcefully as you want it to take place. What has to happen is BA has to come back and he has to actually present the conversation with his play. Okay. Now, when BA shows, and this is not something we want, But if BA shows that he is not up to the level of receiver that $30 million a year represents, then you sit him down and have a conversation with him and say, hey, we gave you a year. You came back. We gave you, because BA is not even going to be ready for week 1.
I understand.
Right? So give BA the rest of the season, and then you say, hey, man, look, we paid you. We gave you 10 games. We saw the 10 games. It's time for us to have a conversation. I think that's fair.
No. No doubt that's fair. But I'm just like saying, like, this is going to be this. It's going to.
And I know you ain't thinking Ricky Pearsall is filling any role that Brandon Ayuk had. I know you're not doing that.
He can't run an in route. I saw Ricky Pearsall. Listen, okay. Because I really wanted to talk just about Brock.
Question. Answer the question. I said, I know you ain't about to sit here and act like Ricky Pearsall can fill Brandon Ayuk's role. I know you're not about to do that.
I don't know how.
Hold on. You are not about to sit up here on Al Gore's internet and tell me that Ricky Pearsall can do what Brandon Ayuk does for this offense. You're not going to do that.
Hey, maybe if we get a better offensive line, he don't need to. Because, like, as far as I can tell, the only thing Brandon does better is block. You're not faster. Are you faster?
He's faster than Ricky Pearsall.
All right. Somebody look it up for me. I'll check. Maybe I'm wrong. But here, anyway, this the real shit. This the real stuff.
All right. Chris, you gotta call back, bro.
I want to every time, but it's just like I was like, oh man, coach might give me the cold shoulder. I don't.
No, dog. I ain't no funny dude. I don't act funny, bro. I'm not that dude, bro.
Okay.
Go ahead. So close me out, because I know I've got other guys. They've been waiting patiently. Close me out.
Like Kev said. The boy Dobbs is gonna throw a party probably, and we're gonna win the game. I hope we don't. We're gonna win the game 34-17. And all I'm gonna hear all summer is about how
Dobbs should have been playing.
Dobbs should have been. Well, you know what? He probably should have been, though. Honestly, you ain't no telling with this front office and this
type shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dobbs, and then it's gonna be all Dobbs is better than Brock, and we shouldn't pay Brock. And my whole thing is like, yeah, we should pay Brock. Brock is definitely top 10. Y'all ask Brock to win games. You have no business winning with no offensive line and no defense. And then he throws picks because he's throwing the same 3 routes the whole game to receivers who are not number 1 receivers. And then you get mad when it's a pick. Like, we can't even run the ball in between the tackles, and you call yourself wanting to win a game. Brock's supposed to bend the tenets of football for you, and then
all right. Prediction, and you went off and took a whole nother left turn.
That's what I really wanted to talk about. I wasn't trying to talk about Brandon.
Give me your prediction. Give me a score, brother. 2 numbers side by side.
17-34. Dobbs gonna throw over probably 320.
17-34. You can't even get the score all right. 34-17. I'll talk to you, bro. Call back, right. Chris. I love the call, bro. Call back, brother.
Bye.
All right, bro. Keith, what's up, bro? Talk to me, man. How you been, man?
Good. How about yourself, man?
Awesome, man.
Just left my son basketball game. That's why I was driving.
Yeah, man. I see you representing the Bros right now. Rebuild.
Yeah, for sure.
Rebuild or reload, bro?
We in reload mode, man. Because I consider rebuilding. There's no timeline on you getting better. You can be rebuilding like how long have the Raiders been rebuilding?
My God. Yeah, you might as well call them the Las Vegas Building Fund. They got the building fund in the church. Man, you ain't seen the door not well.
I mean, so like, I really, for one, the whole season I've been saying 2020 vibes. Did I say that from week 1? Like, I don't like how we lost Greenlaw in the Super Bowl, so I knew, and I'm glad he kind of sat out the whole year. He didn't need to play this year. Okay. But I thought that was going to be a problem, and it was a problem all year. Linebacker was a problem for us. Mm-hmm. Then when McCaffrey didn't play pretty much the whole year, Trent hasn't played. I just thought, all right, this year is a mulligan. Hopefully, and what I do like is a lot of our young draft picks got to play. You got to see a Renardo Green. You got to see Pearsall get a lot of time. You got to see Mustafa. You got to see a lot of guys that probably would not have played out if everybody been healthy. Now you add some healthy core back with a draft. Hopefully that's a good draft when we have a top 10 or 11 pick, right? And that's a top 10 or 11 pick in each round. And so you add that
I like that you said that.
you know, you had that talent with the young talent that we had, because if we stack another rookie class, that's 2 years of cheap labor that we'll have on the team. And another point of optimism for next year, we will have a last place schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people are mentioning that too. Because in 2019, what did we have when we went to the Super Bowl?
A last place schedule. Yep.
So
because we got trounced in 18.
We did destroy it.
Yeah.
And so I think people are overly pessimistic when it comes to this team. And I know you in particular with Kyle. And I just kind of want to know when, because I like to compare a lot of Kyle right now to Philadelphia Andy Reid. And I would like to know who or when they started getting like the vibes of when he should leave, because he didn't leave for a long time. He stayed there, what, 12, 13 years?
I think he was there for 14 years.
14 years. And he never got fired. His contract just ran out and they didn't renew it, which I guess is
they
semantics.
Respectfully just let it. Yeah.
And so, yes, Kyle hasn't got the big one done. And unlike that caller from the Navy, I'm 44. So I started watching football right in the midst 88, 89 of the glory days. So, yes, Super Bowl is a standard. But besides the Harbaugh years, which there was only 3 really good years,
it's been tough sledding.
It's been, I mean, Shanahan, damn, that Super Bowl last year, that one really hurt me. But I did not have high expectations for the team this year at all. You know,
even coming into the season,
I did not.
Okay,
I didn't. I thought Greenlaw was that important, and I looked at some stats the other day. They had 80 yards and 3 points before Greenlaw got hurt. Scored 20-something points and 400 yards after his injury.
Yeah,
in the Super Bowl, and so. Just that.
No, they weren't doing anything while they were healthy. Dre went down and they started. And I'll put it like this: Dre went down, and you know who's the first person to realize he went down? Patrick Mahomes
ran over to Andy Reid. 57 down. 57 down.
You saw that?
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's what he means. It's what he means to the team. I mean, honestly, and you know, in that ilk, because you're cooking right now, and I'll just say a little bit and just let you finish up. But really. What frustrated me to just really stick to your topics of why I'm so critical on Kyle is the rollout, Keith. Like, bro, you bring Christian McCaffrey back and you spam him over 20 touches from scrimmage, man. Why? Come on. Then you got Jordan Mason, who's leading the league in rushing and yards per carry at 6.4. Come on.
I'd have to say, like, if I was, so I'm an athlete dad, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this, because
so I was Jordan Mason.
So let me ask you this, because you know I'm gonna get you now.
Okay, go ahead.
Your boy is Jordan Mason.
Correct.
All right. Come on now.
And so they say the NFL is a copycat league, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with copying what Detroit does with Gibbs and Montgomery?
They seem to make it work. I don't understand what, and then this is what really threw me off. You go in and, you know, I got tons of pushback on Twitter I went at Kyle for his workload on Christian. And, you know, everybody got specific. Oh, well, the literal play that hurt his knee, that had nothing to do with workload and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, shut up. Half of you guys never even been on a sideline, let alone played. The facts is that when you bring a guy out, and you give him that many reps, okay, something is bound to happen if you don't pace him out.
Especially he hasn't played in 10 months.
He ain't played. And then for context, you get a guy like Jordan Mason who has never had that type of workload ever since he's been a pro, and then you shut him down for 3 weeks. He's stone cold. He hasn't had a real rep in a month. 3 carries in 3 weeks, and then when you really want to roll him out, you put him in a blizzard on the road. It's like, what are we doing?
This is what I didn't like, too. Because then it's like, I'm in the military, too. I'm in the Air Force.
All right.
And we have a thing called morale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like if I'm supervising an airman and he does really good work for me. Then they send me some new guy, or somebody comes back, and then I just act like that airman doesn't exist anymore. What kind of message is that sending as a leader?
Bad morale.
Even though I kind of back Kyle because I think he's done really well in his regime here, I don't like that aspect that you had Jordan Mason out there as a dog working like that. Then as soon as McCaffrey comes back, he gets nothing. I actually think Mason should have still got the majority of the carries while you worked McCaffrey back to his you know what I'm saying?
I agree, man. I thought that Christian should have been folded into the lineup, not stirred. He should have been there. Jordan Mason should have been having about maybe 12 to 15 carries a game. You give Christian about 10 touches a game. Right? Give him 5 carries and then give him 5 routes. Right? You know, put him on the field as a decoy a couple of times. Get him in the backfield to do some pass blocking so he can get a little bit of physicality under his belt. You don't got to give him the damn ball every time he's on the field. I just thought that there was a much better way to do that. And one of the biggest things that was a tipping point in our season is when Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey both went down. It was pretty much the season's over. You know, so I mean, for me, knowing what Jordan Mason meant to this team early on in the year, how he basically carried us to Christian McCaffrey getting healthy, I just thought that Kyle would have recognized his true worth, and he just didn't. He completely shut him down. He put Christian on the field, and then you lost both of them. And for me, that's on Kyle. I can't. There's no other way around it for me.
Well, also 2 more things I have for Purdy. I don't know what you should pay him, but I agree. Like at some point, some ownership is going to have to, or some regime is going to have to say, we're paying you what you actually are versus you're the next man up. There is no other position in football where you just get paid more than the next guy if you're not a great player. Like nobody says, I'm going to pay the next, safety, mid to average safety, you're up. I'm going to give you Ed Reed money. No, that's not how this works. You know what I'm saying? And so
I despise how quarterbacks get paid, man. They get treated like quarterbacks get treated like they're brain surgeons, like they're like, you know what I'm saying, like they're fighter pilots. You know what I mean? This is like, dude, it is not that deep.
When people say you can't pay Purdy and keep it, you can. What is Jalen? Is Philly the only one with the cap space that they have? They paid Hurts and they paid Brown, Smith, and they went and got Barkley, and they paid the offensive line that they got.
Well, they drafted a lot too. They did some great drafting too.
They did some great drafting, but their defense is really cheap. You know what I'm saying? They don't
now.
Yes, for now, because there's a lot of rookies and young players.
Yeah,
but I mean that's the model they've chosen. It depends on what you choose to. It's a prioritized thing. To your point.
Yeah, they're running up against it. They're running up against it now because they know if they don't win, they got some decisions they need to make. The way they did when they had Bradbury and all of those boys when we played them last time.
That's right.
And they had to reload. So
one more.
I'm sorry about that, Keith. Go ahead.
Your man Chris was disrespectful to BA, man.
Oh, go ahead, Chris. I hope you're watching, Chris.
Like you saying the one game Juwan Jennings had with 3 tubs. First off, the first Pittsburgh game last year, you ate up Patrick Peterson and
went
got
off
two touchdowns. But let's not talk about one game. Nobody on that receiving core has been all pro but Debo. And nobody more recently than BA. And so we can't say you can have one game as a quarterback, you get 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, but can you do it over the course of the season? And there's levels. Like to this point, Pearsall might get like what he's shown the last few games since he's getting more opportunities. He's shown up pretty big, but nobody has shown up as a pure receiver in this offense like BA over the last 4 or 5 years, period. And what
agree.
He did last year, second team All-Pro, that's hard to do.
Hey, man, give me a prediction before we roll out, man. I love the call, Keith.
I hope the Cardinals win because I'm more invested in a draft position than I hate winning meaningless games when you're not in the playoffs. I just think that's pointless. I would rather a team go 2-14 than 7-10.
Hey, not mad at it.
And so I think that I think Arizona win. I see James Conner's out, so that kind of makes me want to say, but I'm gonna say 24-17 Arizona.
All right,
I
bro.
think Kyler gonna run around a little bit on us. So
It's bound to
that's
happen.
my
Hey, man.
thoughts.
I catch you
Always a
later,
pleasure,
man.
Coach.
Always a
Take it
pleasure,
easy.
man. Thanks for the great call. All right, man. We got Rod up next, and we got Shardall, and then we're gonna get the rest of you guys up. Let's go. Rod, what's good, brother?
Man, good to see you, Coach.
It's good to see you too, man. How you doing, bro?
Can't complain, man. Finally got early day off of work, so it's not every day that I get a chance to holler at you and grin as much as I used to. But
Yeah,
I
it's been a
always,
while.
I always catch the show towards the end, though, and it's always great.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I agree with the point you made earlier with your guy about Ayuk being able to have his opportunity to show what he's able to do. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember a few seasons back, we had a guy by the name of Michael Crabtree who we let go, and he had I think it was his Achilles.
Yeah, it was Achilles.
Yeah, he did not have his explosiveness when he
Mm-hmm.
first came back, and people were upset about that. But then the next year he went to Oakland, opposite Amari Cooper, and they
And
both
had a resurgence.
right.
My
So,
God, yeah.
yeah. But
What do you got for me? Rebuild or reload, man?
I think it's got to be rebuild, man. I think
Now, one thing I will say, there was a quote by Manhattan John in here, and that I absolutely agreed with. Rebuild can be misconstrued for a change of a coach, a GM, like basically from the root up, from a rebuild. So I do want to say, like, nobody is saying fire Kyle. I'm not saying fire Kyle. I'm not saying fire John. I think that that's a premature conversation. To say that Kyle should be fired right now is purely speculation.
Let me add something into that while you bring that
Go
point
ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
One of the biggest problems in the NFL today, Coach, from what I can see, is this, which is the reason why I say rebuild, because obviously the organization doesn't want to go away from Kyle and John. He's made that perfectly clear. But you have a lot of organizations, brother, that have a head coach. The head coach will draft a quarterback. Next thing you know, the coach is gone, but now you're
And be
hiring
stuck with the quarterback.
a new coach who has probably a system that doesn't match the skill set of the quarterback who's already been drafted in the first round. And the Chicago Bears, I think, have done it a couple of times. Justin Fields, Trubisky, you keep drafting guys. But the thing is with Kyle, he's never gotten the quarterback that he's wanted or the quarterback that panned out. So, as far as the rebuild goes, the thing that I'm really concerned about as a fan base is that, the fan base is so quick to jump on guys like Brandon Ayuk when he doesn't perform, Deebo Samuel when he doesn't perform. But what about the guy who's getting the most money on the team who hasn't performed since
Nick
the contract?
Bosa.
Yes, 10 sacks less than the sacks that you got the contract year. You haven't performed since.
Yeah.
And how much value could we get back with this guy? You and Grant are the only ones that I can remember talking about this, but why isn't it even a consideration?
Yeah, look, man, we bought him now, so moving on from him would absolutely okay. Moving on from Nick, there's a couple of players that if you move on from, in my opinion, it would signify they're blowing it up. And Nick Bosa will be one, and Deebo Samuel will be two. Like if they moved on from Deebo Samuel, his cap hit alone, his dead cap hit is going to be like in the $42 million range. It's going to be crazy. And Nick Bosa, you let him go, that's 50. So, and then on top of it, we got the Eric Armstead post June 1 cap hit that we got to take off for moving him last year. So if you move any of those guys, man, don't even fill the team. Like we got a gigantic hole in our cap. So I just think that, like I said before, hey, you can look at it and say, look, he's not a Myles Garrett or a guy where it's just he's going to be that guy year in, year out, no matter what. But you got to get him some more help, right? And I will say this, our defensive line would be so much worse without him. He may not have given you the sacks, and I know when you get paid that much money, $34 million a year, it does force you to say, man, forget the football. What does the number say? How many sacks did you get? But as far as football is concerned, Nick didn't have his best year, but he definitely shouldered a lot of the load. He did. This isn't a talented defensive line, and I'm going to shoot him some bail. Like, Nick Bosa, he did a lot for this defense and for this team that, quite frankly, isn't going to come up in a stat line. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? What's the stat line on filling the gap? What's the stat line on holding down the edge, right? What's the stat line on Malik Collins is getting his ass whooped on the inside technique and you playing two gaps and still going over to get a tackle? I understand in the stat line that may say one tackle, but if you know the game, you're like, damn, this motherfucker just did three people's jobs, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of what Nick Bosa does and quite frankly has had to do where, I'm going to be honest with you, he really hasn't had a chance, at least this season, to really focus on his own numbers. You know what I'm saying? His own, like just him. He has done a lot for this defense, right? Nick Bosa, now put it this way. We can look at the numbers that Nick Bosa does or doesn't have. Cool, we can do that. And that's dead numbers, whatever. But I tell you one thing, when he's not on the field, it's a clear difference.
Yeah.
It is a clear difference on our defensive line when he's not on the field. So you got to look at that. It's not always numbers. You got a point, but it's just not always numbers.
The thing that's funny about that, though, man, is the thing that's funny about that is that, you know, how we sit here and talk about the help that he needs from that defensive line. And it's like, for whatever reason, we've just had bad luck as it relates to the players that we decide to let go. Because it's like, we could have done without D Ford. We could have done without Armstead. If we would have kept D-Buck, we could have changed that other side a couple of times and we wouldn't have missed a thing. I do believe.
Well, you know, sometimes we got to lean into the organization, Brody, because at one point, I think everybody was shocked that they let go of Buck over Armstead. I was shocked. I didn't see that coming. But they bet on the future. I believe that they thought that Eric Armstead is a much better pass rusher, and that's where the league is going. And we already have guys in Nick Bosa that we need to get there, and we have a DJ Jones, and we have all of these inside guys that can hold down the run fits for us. So do we really need Buck? But it's come to find out that, man, sometimes when you got an all-world guy, just don't touch it. Just leave it alone. I would have let Eric walk over Buck, but, I mean, anybody can say that now. But I agree. Let's get a prediction, man. How you feel about this Arizona game?
Well, I don't think there's very much motivation. I think that more than anything, the question of the matter is, do we have enough guys playing that just want to keep the pride of the 49ers alive by just going out there and, you know, representing correctly? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, this is in Arizona too, correctly?
Yeah, it's away.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go probably Arizona 35, Niners 16.
Dang. All right, brother. Hey, man, I love the call, man. Call back, Rod. Thank you for your patience, too, man.
I will, most
Thank
definitely.
You. All right, brother.
Good one, Coach.
You too, man. Chardot, my guy. And then Frank up next.
Hey, what's up, Coach? I love all your content and videos, man, on the channel, man. I think you slay it. I think you bring a lot of guests on here, a lot of insights on the team. I really like that about you. That's what makes it great. Me calling into your show. I love calling into your show. Every time I get the chance to, I definitely take the opportunity and call in, which is a great thing about this whole this channel right here. It's really great, man. Really great.
Thank you. Hey, Chardot, man. I want to say something to you. The last show, you came on the call-in show, and I asked for a prediction for the Lions game. And at first you said that the Niners are going to win 50. I think it was like 52-7, but you were trolling. You admitted it. You were trolling. But
I was trolling.
Right. But what you did do is you came out with a much more level-based score prediction. I believe your score prediction was Niners 30-36, Lions 28. Chardot, I want to apologize because that game, I did not call that game being that close. I didn't. And I let you have it. And even though your prediction wasn't right, it was it was probably the closest prediction of the actual score that anybody had put out. And I wanted to give you your flowers, man. Chardon, I wanted to apologize for snapping on you, but at the same time, I wanted to tell you that I am admired by the courage of your convictions. Take a bow, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So this Niners and Cardinals game, I know it's over. I know our season's over. I know we're not making it to the playoffs. That is hashed out. That is not happening. It's not happening. We're not making it. We're not making it. So whoever's thinking about that stuff should just throw that out the door. It ain't happening. We ain't making it to the Super Bowl. We're probably next year, but not this year. No, not this year. Not this year. Not happening this year.
Okay.
That's this was supposed to be a homecoming game for Brock. And it's always touching to see a player play in front of his family, especially in the hometown that they were born. He was born in Arizona. He went to high school in Arizona, Perry High School in Arizona.
Okay.
He's an Arizona homeboy.
This
guy was born in Arizona.
Let's go.
And he's out of this game with an elbow injury. He has tendonitis in his elbow or something. I'm not sure the extent of the injury. It's very serious. But this is heartbreaking, man. Because
I don't think it's that serious though, Chardon. They're saying that it's not serious.
No, but it's an elbow injury.
Right.
And there's tendonitis in his elbow and his throwing shoulder.
Yep.
And that's serious, man. Because whenever you get these injuries, man, it's definitely alarming. But he's one of our best quarterbacks. But I think he'll be fine, man. Prayers go out to Brock Purdy. Hopefully he gets better next year. Hopefully he recovers from the elbow injury, man. Like I have faith that he's gonna recover from the injury. I'm a diehard Niner fan. I like all of my players. I like every single player on this team. Hey. I like Nick Bosa. I like everybody, man. Like I like everybody, man. But it's just like life is tough, man. But you gotta live with life sometimes, man. You gotta be optimistic, and life will come your way.
Hey, brother, let me get a prediction for the Arizona game before I get you out of here, man.
My prediction for the Cardinals and 49ers game, I'm gonna go 49ers winning 27-24 on a game-winning field goal by Jake Moody.
Hey, Chardon said it here, and we're going to let Chardon rock out.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Coach, and I'll definitely come on next season when the Niners play next year.
For sure, bro. Love the engagement,
Thanks
man.
For having me on, and you're a great host, and keep it rocking.
Hey, man, thank you so much, Chardon. You have a good day, okay, bud?
See you later, man, and thanks for having me on the show.
Talk to you, brother. Hey, let's get some super chats out the way. Marketing Pros is up next. Frank Fayette, Trav, then Wink, and then Deshaun. Then we're going to close it out, all right? So let's get some super chats up here real quick. Manhattan John 1999, thank you, John. Forgot to mention on our call, props to you, Coach, for getting your channel to 18K in a tough year to cover the 49ers. It was the definition of getting handed lemons and making lemonade. Congrats again. Thank you, man. I didn't expect it. We're just grinding, bro. Every day is a new plateau, and I'm grateful. Really am. Thank you for all of you guys. Serenity, $10. Thank you, sis. Hey, Coach. Thanks for your hard work. I hope JJ gets his 77 yards and that Dobb kills it. I'm ready for the combine draft process with you and Tom, and I have an undying hope of change for the 49ers. Mic drop. I ain't mad at you, sis. And we will be here all offseason, especially during the draft. Me and Tom are going to do a lot of great things. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get Marketing Pro up. Frank, you are next. What's up, bro? Yo.
Yo, what up, player?
What's good, man? You behind enemy lines right now, bro. You know where you at?
Hey, what we got right here is the West Coast, you know what I mean? And
what set you from?
Coach.
From? Why you on me? You know where you at? You rocking with the Niners, dog. What set you from?
Brother, Rams Nation, you know what I'm saying? Sean the Genius McVay, Matthew Dime Stafford. You heard of them, the Super Bowl champs.
Oh, my
you
God.
Heard of those cats.
God, Sean
now, here's what I want to
McVay.
tell you,
Get out of here.
Sean the Genius McVay player, Bill Walsh reincarnated in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? And Rams Nation got love for the coach because the coach we call him Chef Coach because he'd be cooking facts and he'd be cooking the Purdy mites. You know, the Purdy mites have reached a new level of delusion. You know what I mean?
How so, sir?
I am doing great. I want to make a couple points to you. First of all, the 49ers ain't got time to rebuild.
Okay.
All you got to do is retool. Just like remember when it was the end of the world?
Mm-hmm.
Last year when the 49ers broke the Eagles, when the Eagles started hot and they lost all those games, didn't make the playoffs. So the 49ers, they just a little fatigued from going to the playoffs every year. You know what I mean? The players are a little tired this year and they had some injuries. Next year, the 49ers, with the extra rest they're going to get, they're going to come back healthy. You guys need to really make a decision on quarterback, okay? Now, I'm going to just drop some facts as an outside source, not biased.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, won games. He's in the second half, 8 touchdowns to 10 INTs. Jimmy G never had that ratio. Even though you guys saying he's better than Jimmy G, I'll tell you right now, Jimmy G didn't plateau downwards. You know, after he tore his ACL, he reached a limit, right? That's good as he was going to be. You know, he was not be able to move around, but
right after post ACL, Jimmy is a whole different Jimmy. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and coach, with Purdy, it's kind of like Iowa State. Look at his trajectory at Iowa State. Started out good, but it didn't end pretty.
He trailed off as soon as he lost Breece Hall.
So you guys want to max out a guy for 55, 60 M that's downsliding?
Well,
that's a tough decision, man. Because remember, once you pay Purdy $60 million, you're not going to be able to keep some of those weapons that he's going to need to be effective. Because Purdy, to me, from what he ain't that player that can elevate a team. He's good. He's functionable in the genius Kyle Shanahan system. I'll give Kyle credit there. He makes an average quarterback good. Now, what I'm going to tell you is watch Dobbs against the Cardinals. I got this dude running for a touchdown, throwing 3 touchdown passes in the Shanahan system.
Man,
so Kyle Shanahan's system makes it really quarterback friendly.
Hold up, marketing pro.
Hold on. I'm saying? So marketing pro.
No. You ain't just about to gloss over that shit. Hold on. Dog, you said that Josh Dobbs is going to throw for 3 touchdowns?
100% player.
And run for one himself. So he's going to have a total of 4 touchdowns versus the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow?
That's right.
Don't go nowhere for next week's call-in show. Do you hear me?
I will be here, coach, because Martin Pro knows the score from the Big Orange to the Big Apple.
All right. All I'm saying is because right now I feel like the only reason why you saying that is because I feel like you're building an argument for the scheme is why Brock is what he is, and that we can't overpay Brock because we can find any other quarterback to do what the offense replicates for quarterbacks. Is that what you're trying? Is that where you're going?
Yes, it's a fact.
All right.
Okay, check this out, player. Check this out. What happened to Jimmy when he went to the Raiders?
Fell off.
Now, you put Purdy on the Raiders.
Right.
What do you think going to happen?
Come on, man. We can't play make-believe, dog. We can't play make-believe.
I'm just looking at game tape. Ricky Pearsall, a Rolex Ricky.
Trying to find a trade partner. You thought that I was going to shoot Jimmy Bale just because he used to play for us? He don't play for the Niners no more. Jimmy's a bum.
Jimmy gonna be starting for the Rams. He's gonna cook under McVay too. But hey, check this out, player. Look at that Ricky Pearsall pass. He had a 10-yard separation. That should have been a touchdown, but he had to put the brakes on and come back before it cost him a touchdown. That's something Purdy can't fix. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking him. I'm giving Kyle Shanahan his must-do credit. The Purdy mites have been hating on Kyle, hating on all the 49er podcasters that dare to say anything other than what they want to hear. But Marketing Pro going to tell you fools what the truth is. So Kyle Shanahan's system has always been a quarterback-friendly playbook. It makes average quarterbacks good.
Right.
You know? So, Coach, let me ask you this. There's a rumor that Kirk Cousins is about to get cut. Now, would you bring him in as a backup for $1 million?
No, I think that's more about Kirk than it is for the Niners. One thing about the Niners is that anybody that has anything to do with Kyle or the offense or the team, we automatically think that we're just, it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to get him. I don't believe that. That's one. Two, we're not even realizing the fact that if you Kirk Cousins' own cachet, him coming in off of the deal that he just got with the Falcons, he coming in for $1 million would automatically say that his cachet is a backup quarterback. I don't think he'd be willing to do that. There's still teams out here that could look at a Kirk Cousins to come in and compete for one, but not come in to be Brock Purdy's backup. Like, he had one bad year. He ain't fall off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that he would do that to himself. That just from a professional standpoint, I don't see why Kirk would do that. And then lastly, let's say all of that doesn't matter and Kirk comes here. I don't want Kirk Cousins here because I don't believe there's a scenario where he doesn't find the field. Kyle will find a way to put Kirk Cousins on the field if he comes here. And I don't want to see him play for us.
See, a light bulb just went on in Santa Clara. So if Kirk Cousins signs with the 49ers,
he for sure is going to play.
Find a way on the field. If Purdy
he's for sure going to play.
In my opinion, and this is just my feeling, half, he can get benched.
Yeah, this is just my feeling, but there's no way that.
Well, the feeling's mutual.
Come on, man. There's no way that what we know about Kyle and all of the long-standing history between him and Kirk. I mean, there's rumors that him and Kirk still text each other like on a regular basis. There's no way that if Kirk comes here, Kyle, you heard the way he talked about Sam Darnold. Dog, like he talked about him like he was his son. There's no way Kirk comes here and Kyle doesn't get him on the field. He'll gaslight Brock. He'll do something. He'll put the offense on Brock in a way that he can't handle it, and then Kirk can get on the field. I believe that to be true. Hey, man,
I believe that. I
don't even want to know your prediction because I know what it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, man.
That's a great play call by the coach right there. You know what I mean? I think that's right. But, check this out. Even with Kirk, Kyle's playbook would make him better. See, I'm not hating on Purdy. I'm just trying to drop the facts. With that Kyle playbook, you just kind of know where, scripted. So you got to know where to throw it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, look, I love the engagement. I would ask you for a prediction, but you ain't no Niners fan, so we don't care what you think.
Prediction right now, man. The homie Dobbs is going to cook 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing.
Hey, man, I talk to you, brother. Have a good one.
And Chef Jimmy G going to cook, and the Rams Nation got that W, and get that Rams gear while you're at it, player. Peace.
Get this dude out of here, man. I can't believe I let him up. Frank next. Wink, Travden, wink. Frank.
What's the deal, homie?
What is up, brother? How you doing?
I am doing well. Happy New Year. Good holiday season. Life is great. I got some good news for you, bro. I made a phone call to Fayetteville. I made a phone call to Fayetteville State. If you want to go back into coaching, bro, here's your hat for you. Here's your hat for you. We got a spot for you. We paid the best in the CIAA.
Hey, I knew that you was gonna come up here with this CIAA mess. Look,
here's your hat.
Don't let these Bulldogs. Hey, look, calm down, bro. Don't let these Bulldogs come in here and handle business, man. You think that just because you out here in North Carolina that we ain't gonna come down there and fix y'all up? You know next season. You know what are y'all ranked in the CI right now?
It doesn't matter. It says listen.
I know it don't matter.
Listen.
I know it don't matter.
Hey, we beat Bowie State though. We beat Bowie State last year. That's for sure.
Last year, y'all beat Bowie State.
That's okay. And next year too. Trust me.
All right, we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
But listen though.
What you got for me, bro?
Real talk, I think it's gonna be a reload, assuming Kyle learns from this year. I'm not optimistic, but again, if he has learned anything from this year, self-awareness, reflection, if that's the case, I'm not hopeful, but if it does happen, I say you rebuild. And here's why. First round draft pick, if I'm thinking about rebuild, draft down out of that first round pick, get more picks, bolster the defensive line, the number defensive line, or if the guy from Penn State is there at number 11, Abdul Carter, take him. Put him opposite.
I like Abdul Carter at 11. I love that. I like that.
Yes, he's a beast. If he's not there, I say trade down out of the first round, get more draft picks, get more seconds, more thirds, bolster the O-line, D-line, and I think with our week schedule next year, hey
man,
that's what I think.
Look, I'm a big guy. I'm a big proponent of the draft. There's nothing like the draft, bringing new young guys in. You keep the culture, but you revitalize it with youth. You revitalize it with guys who really want to be on the team. You got to look at it this way. I understand that when you get a Fred Warner, you get a George Kittle, you find a Nick Bosa in the first round. You pick up a Brandon Ayuk or a Deebo Samuel in the first and second round. You have these guys where they're a part of your culture. I get it. But you can't forget how you got them in the first place. You got them through the draft.
Exactly.
You got them through the draft. And you have to go back to the draft to find the next Debo, the next BA, the next Nick Bosa. You have to. So for me, I just believe that, like I said, the bright spot of the season for me was the rookies. I love the rookies, what they did. Dominic Mooney, straight dog. Malik Mustafa, dog. Ronaldo Green, we found ourselves another corner. Ricky Pearsall is on the uptick. He's turning on, right? Jacob Cowan gave us good reps at returner this year. I mean, I'm happy about the Evan Anderson.
Yeah.
Right? Sam Aquanu. Right? These are guys that came. I don't think Sam's a rookie, though. But all I know is that I'm more happy about the young talent that played. They have so much gained reps under their belt that they need to double down on this and go to the draft and keep it going.
Indeed. That's what I'm saying. Trade down either Abdul Carter or trade down out of the first round, get more second, thirds, and fourths, bolster our depth that way, get younger. Yeah. And as far as Brock Purdy, one of my buddies from work, he was like, you got to pay him the market. And I told him this is my response. The market dictates money and contracts, but not common sense. You cannot give Brock Purdy, at least not next year, $50+ million. No, because the past 3 weeks, to me, the past 3 games were resembling the Super Bowl. The defense, by and large, showed up. What cost us? Offense and special teams. That's the thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, Brock Purdy, love you. He's a good bridge quarterback. If we can re-sign him at $30 million a year, cool. Anything beyond 35, 40, no. Play out next year.
I'm with that.
Play out next year.
I'll play him out, but Brock, and just for inflation, but if Brock got like a little north of 40, I'd be all right. Like if Brock got like 41, 42, and that's what his number was, I would be cool with that. But like anything like above like into the like mid 40, nah, dog. Like
no.
It ain't worth it, man. So I mean, hey, for right now though, man, give me a prediction, man. What do you got coming out of this game?
Pain and torture. I think it's going to be a. Listen, tomorrow afternoon, while you're talking, I will have my Buffalo Trace fully loaded. Anyway, but as far as the score, shoot, I'll say Arizona 21, 49ers will either win or lose by 4.
That's a take on it. All right, brother.
Zona, they'll score 20, 21 points. We'll either win or lose by 4.
Hey, man. Love the call, man. Call back again, Frank.
Hey, I'll be in the DMV in March on my spring break vacation. Let's link up.
Hit me up, man.
Bet.
All right, bro. Wink. What up, though?
What
hey,
up,
man. Thank you for your patience, brother. Thank you.
It's all good. This is my first time calling. I've been watching you for a minute. I just want to say thank you. Black content creator, you putting on, you showing all the youngins. Hey, there's other way to create passive income, get your name out there, set a brand, and market yourself in a positive way.
Yeah. In 100%, man. Like we know who we are, where we stand in different avenues. But one of the things that I really take pleasure in is showing that, we're not a monolith. You know what I mean? Like we come in many different shapes and forms. We have a lot of different eclectic stuff. Like I'm still who I am, but I'm versatile. You know what I mean?
That's what I love about you the most, man. I watch a lot of 49ers content creators, and I feel like out of all of them, you and Grant is probably the realest. Y'all don't hide yourselves. You just having a good time.
Yeah, we just kicking back, man. And that's something that we've actually talked about where like the ism to like what we do is we literally take what we do in real life and just turn the camera on. Like it's that simple. You know what I'm saying?
It feels
And we
like
don't
it too.
yeah, we don't put on, we don't try to get all YouTube-y. Like it just like we just turn on the camera and just move accordingly. And I'm glad that that comes through, man. I really am. Thank you.
For sure. But I got a man. So like I said, this is my first time. Usually I don't mess with the call-in shows because a lot of people get redundant with the callers and a lot of people
Hey,
kind of
wait,
don't know
hey,
what the
wait, hey,
hell they
wait, hey,
talking
wait,
about.
hey, wait. I love you, dog, but you gotta sit up, bro. Come on, pause, no home. Come on, man. You gotta sit
Hey,
up. You
man, I'm
can't be
watching the
like,
game,
man,
big dog. I'm watching the game,
you
big
giving me
dog.
the couch vibes, bro. Like you gotta sit up, wait. You way too relaxed, dog.
Hey, man, what's that new
Yo,
meme they got out there? I'm a chill guy. I'm a
we
chill guy. You
in
know?
this joint. We like, yeah. So other day, I was, you know what I'm saying? We were just going through it.
I'm talking to you like I feel like you my homie already. I've been watching you for so long.
I feel
That's
you,
why
man. I
it's
feel
just so
you.
natural, you know. You just
Yeah.
I'm talking to the homie right now.
Yeah, exactly. You talking to me, dog. We good, we good. I'm just fucking with you, dog.
I got you. That was funny though. But I
Uh-huh.
can't lie, these last two callers was actually speaking some truth, man.
Talk to me.
That Rams caller was speaking some truth, man. I really like Brock Purdy, but the fact that he does tend to spiral downward, it is in the second half when it's the most important times. And
Right.
I was I kind of I heard what you had to say as far as your pushback on it, but we got to be real as Niner fans, man. We can't. I think sometimes we do shield Brock from a lot of the criticisms. Now I don't think it's all warranted, but this is one of the things that I think definitely we cannot say that we haven't seen this with our own eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look, man. Is Brock the guy? What do we mean by the guy? Like, is Brock a franchise quarterback?
We thought he was, in my opinion. So let me give you my opinion. I know Brock is coming up for this contract. In my opinion, if we have to get rid of people to be able to keep him, he's not worth it. This core is more important than what Brock Purdy has brought to this offense because we've seen it. We cannot say we haven't seen it.
Well, but your definition that he's not worth it, period, because when you get a guy and you pay him that much money, by and large, you're gonna have to get rid of these guys. Like you can't keep a Deebo Samuel at like Brandon Ayuk makes $30 million a year. Deebo Samuel makes $28 million a year. Like
absolutely.
By and large, like there's no quarterback getting paid elite money with those type of weapons getting paid around him. Not unless it's like a left tackle or some shit, but not two receivers. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just don't see it. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough sledding. I'm getting him paid, but one thing I will say is that, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I want you to remember this.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the number is, the structure is more important than the number.
Okay, so this is where I'll push back.
Okay.
Obviously, if we do pay him, the structure has to change. We know with how
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm talking about the structure of the deal. How many outs?
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is the structure of his deal. So don't get caught up on the numbers. Okay.
Right.
Understand when we have outs. We could potentially be signing Brock. We could potentially be signing Brock for a 5-year deal, but his true cap hit, he really doesn't start hitting our cap until his 4th year. And we have an out. So it could be truthfully be a 3-year deal, right? But the numbers is so big that nobody wants to go and do the work to actually look at how it bears out year by year, right? So just understand that the number may be crazy, but just his guaranteed money and his annual average and how that money is structured are like the 3 biggest things to me when it comes to Brock getting paid.
I feel you. And I just hope they can figure the crunch them numbers down to like I said, we showed our perplexity. All of our best players are injury-prone players, man. They're 3-4 games at a time. And
I think they're just getting older, man.
You right. You right. But even then, Debo ain't that old. Debo's always showed up. Brock ain't that old. He's always showed a perplexity to be injured. I'm not saying it's not football. I played football myself. You know, we all did. But yeah, we have, I think, in the structure of this team, because of what our best players are, we need depth. And that's why we had the year we had, because we didn't have the depth. And so if you're signing Brock Purdy in a way that's taken away from not only our best players and our depth, nah.
Well, yeah, you are right. Look, they look, guys. So let me say this, guys. We had 2 hours for a call-in show. Let's finish out, Wink. Let's finish out, Wink. Wink, give me a prediction, and then I'm gonna get to the next caller, and then I'm gonna talk to the chat. So give me a prediction for the Arizona game.
I think he was a little bit right. I don't know about 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns is crazy for Josh Dobbs, but I did like what I saw. I do think he can come out with the win just because I think our organization is a lot more professional than the Cardinals. I don't think they're real motivated to play this game. So I can see a game where it's like 17-3, 17-6. Easy. But I did want to, go ahead and you got to do your thing. But I wanted to talk to you about some quarterback prospects, about who you like coming out.
My big guy right now is Will Howard from Ohio State. I really like him.
I heard you say that with Grant a couple of days ago.
I like Will Howard, bro. I like him.
I don't like his talent. I think he's talented, but I don't know. He would be another Jimmy G in this system.
Yeah. So, I mean, my biggest thing is that I like Will Howard because he's got a big arm. He's athletic. He threw for over like 48 touchdowns at K-State. Forget his Ohio State film.
I got to go back and watch the K-State.
Look at his K-State tape. He's got good K-State tape, right? You got to go back. That's where you got to go back to look at Will Howard, right? Because you can kind of get thrown off with him throwing to all of these 5-star guys in Ohio State. But Will Howard back at K-State is a guy. Also, Jackson Dart is a guy for me too. I like Jackson Dart. He's another guy that can actually do something for us. So, like, there's some guys out there that we could pick up and, sit them on the bench, let them learn behind Brock. But for me, I've seen enough. Brock is a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge to what we really need. And I don't want us to overpay him in the course of finding our true guy. That's my opinion.
I hear you. This is the last thing I got to say.
Okay, bro.
So what is it? I can't understand why people who are aware of Kyle Shanahan and his history with RG3 and how that worked and never find any comps that could recreate that. I think one of the best quarterbacks to play for Kyle Shanahan in that system was RG3.
Okay, back in 30 seconds after a word from Expedia.
So I'll give you one. RG3 didn't run this offense. RG3 ran an RPO. When RG3 ran Kyle Shanahan's offense, he was 3-6 as a rookie. It wasn't until Mike Shanahan came out and basically at 3-6 came out to the media in 2012 and said, hey, we're going to start evaluating the team. Who wants to be here? Basically kind of like virtue signaling to a reset in the middle of the season. Like, hey, we're done. We're not going to win games. I know that the ownership was not happy with that. They basically went to Mike and said, look, we know you didn't want to draft RG3 in the first place, and you wanted Kirk Cousins. We don't give a damn. Make it work. And if you don't, we're about to fire your ass. And this is one of the few times that I saw Kyle Shanahan change his offense. He changed his offense to save his father's job. And they went full RPO. If anybody in the chat remembers, Washington Redskins 2012, 3-6, they went full RPO and they won 7 games in a row. They beat and then they went into first round of the playoffs, and they went up 14-0 on Seattle. And RG3's leg fell apart and it was all over then. But really what got them to what got them to the playoffs that year is Kyle just adopted Baylor's offense. He went full college. And that was the first time. Outside of that, we were the only ones really who were kind of running a college style of offense. We were running a little bit of pistol at the time when Colin was still playing. But at that time, the Redskins were the only team that was actually going full hog into that. And it just caught everybody off guard. They won like 7 games in a row. So for me,
is that not a good thing though?
I think it's a wrinkle.
Where we're at.
Well, I mean, I think it's a wrinkle. I think it's something that eventually will catch up to you. One thing about the NFL is that you're not going to be good doing the same thing for long. These are the smartest men on planet Earth when it comes to this game. That's why they're so cocky, because they know there's not many people that know more than them. But for me, I will tell you is that the biggest thing for me is that they need to understand that if they're not going to change the scheme, then they got to change the players, because we got to change out the offensive defensive line. Like, it's the players are just bad. We're not the same team, and almost you got to put it this way. I think it's pretty safe to say that if we're going to keep Kyle past 8 years, which we are, and Kyle in year 10, Kyle in year 12, I think it's time for us to, if we're going to marry him and he's going to be ours, it's time for us to really understand, like, all right, we got to get an offense that kind of survives Kyle's scheme. We got to get a team that survives Kyle. Like, because not the other way around. No more of this Kyle makes everybody so much better. No, we've seen it before. Because when we have a team that can play good, we go 6-10. We fall off the face of the earth. Kyle has never put together a decent team. It's either a team that is so good that he can't screw it up, or it's a team that's mediocre or that's not as good and he completely shits the bed because he can't do whatever he wants. It's hot or cold with him, in my opinion. There is no middle ground. Absolutely. Hey, man, love the call, bro. Call in again, Wink.
You know it, man.
Hey, enjoys you, brother. Thank you, bro. Deshaun, let's get some super chats in here real quick. Deshaun, what's good, brother?
What's good, man?
What's up, man?
First time I'm calling in too. I done talked to you a couple times.
Hey,
like
man.
I think on like old school, like Facebook or something.
Yeah.
You were talking and stuff. I said I gotta call in. I've been taking it easy on you.
How you been, brother?
You push your stance on the running back. I've been good. Can you hear me?
Okay. Hold on. What? I switched my stance on what running back? Talk to me.
Gentry. Remember what I was saying? We Kyle Shanahan gonna draft a running back if he's there.
You did say that.
From Boise State.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I switched up. I did say we should get Ashton. Yeah. But you know why though?
Our offense. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Our offense is based on the running game, and it's not even about Brock Purdy so much. It is really, if we don't have the running game, we trash. The other thing that I tell people when it comes to, and all you guys have been blazing when it comes to this Purdy topic, but one thing I do tell people, if you was to really look at how the effect that Kyle Shanahan has, that 15 to 20 play script. That's when most of the times your boy Brock Purdy is on. It's after the 15 and 20 play script, then it comes to his skill set. That's why we always are losing in the fourth quarter or when it's time to beat back. So we always going to end up losing when we put it in his hands because we have to have a big lead. That's why we start to see the fourth quarter interceptions and stuff like that, because he doesn't have the skill set to really open up the offense and do a lot of stuff that Kyle Shanahan probably wants to do, because we see that he's that bridge quarterback now. But me, I was calling in just to say, man, I appreciate you, man, because you don't know, a couple of times when we were over there on I think it was like either Twitter or Facebook, you was sending out a little love and stuff like that. We kind of going at it on I'm going at it with other fans, and you will step in, man, and always like was that reason, just that voice of reason, man. And it's good to see you doing the same thing on your platform, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro. I mean, it's been you're one of the rare ones, man, because I have been dabbling in content creation for a while. Like just being a fan, honestly, just giving out commentary. And I've tried my best to be who I was when I was just the coach in the chat. And I am now with my channel. So I'm glad that thank you for recognizing that. And man, I'll hold me accountable, bro. Like the moment I get off that, I want you to call in and be like, Coach, you switched up. You done got Hollywood on us, bro. What in the world is your problem? I'll never do it, dog.
Yeah, I didn't want to call in this time to beat a dead horse. We've already talked about X's and O's and the Brock Purdy stuff, and I just wanted to know that what man. I remember when you were small time to big time, and you ate J's a bit.
Hey man, look, man. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we ship champagne till we're thirsty. You know what I'm saying? So, hey. Hey man, it's been a great ride, man. I love the support. Give me a prediction for the Arizona game, man.
Man, listen, we're gonna 24-17 Niners.
Okay. Hey man, call back in, man. I love the support, bro. Holla at you. Dre!
Yo, my God, what's going on, bro?
What's good, brother? Talk to me, man. What you got for me?
Man. So it's a lot going on.
Okay.
I kind of knew that the season wasn't going to be a good season when I seen negative 34 rest days compared to the opponents that we had to play. I knew that this was going to be a long season.
You saw it through the schedule.
Yeah, bro. I mean, negative 34 rest days. We played all the way until the Super Bowl. I mean, it was just a lot. You know what I mean? And then, you got the offseason shenanigans. I mean, Jennings, he didn't sign his tender, so they had to work his schedule. Trent Williams, of course, deservingly. McCaffrey, which I believe that they knew that he had that Achilles injury, but they kept it under wraps and they paid him for what he did last season. And then you had this guy, Brandon Ayuk. I'm gonna tell you guys, man, I'm not a fan of this fucking guy. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I'm not a fan of the dude. So, I mean, I'm dead ass serious, bro. We got sold ghost dope. You know what I'm saying? If any of y'all from the streets, Coach, you know what ghost dope is. Yeah. We got sold ghost dope.
Hey, they hit you with the sheetrock, did they?
They hit they hit me with the sheetrock. The sheetrock with the cake batter. Yeah, with the sheetrock. So this is the thing I don't like about dude. So now, if you guys look at Christian McCaffrey, right? I believe I think he already wouldn't have that operation on him on his knee because he came in with that full leg brace, right? Now, we've had plenty of guys who have lost children. We have plenty of guys who have had injuries. We still see those guys on the sideline. Where the fuck is Brandon Ayuk? Have you guys seen him at one game? Just name one.
Oh, don't do him like that. Oh, you being petty now. You being petty.
And then look, go on X right now, formerly known as Twitter.
Okay.
Where is the 2 error? His shit is scrubbed. His whole page is scrubbed. The 2 error, his page, it's scrubbed. His face ain't on there. Nothing the 49ers in it. Nothing is on there. Then when we lost the game,
Dre, why you being so petty?
Man, fuck all that, bro. Look,
then we lost the
game. Hey, then we lost the game to the Rams, right?
Okay.
And this guy posts a song lyric that basically says, like, what would they do without me? Like, what? Like, bro, this dude is not no team guy. He hasn't been around the team. He ain't been on the sideline. He ain't so much as the only thing he's tweeted about the team so far this year is when Iowa State lost to Arizona State, and he tweeted Brock Purdy so he can get his money from Brock Purdy, and he said, "I want all blues." Otherwise, I don't fuck with this dude. He's ghost.
Dre. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, Dre. Look, now here goes the deal, man. And I let you cook. Now it's time for me to cook too. Number one, Brandon Ayuk does not owe anybody his digital footprint. If anything, I want to see less of Brandon Ayuk. Media. He's done quite enough on social media throughout the offseason. Would you not say that? Okay, so on one hand, he's all over the Twitter box, and you don't got a problem. And then now, on the other hand, you want to complain that he's not constant.
No. This ain't what I'm saying. Look.
What do you want him to be, Drewski?
No.
Who the hell you think he is? Aiden Ross?
Hey,
you just want him to be streaming on the dick?
No.
What do you want from him?
Bro. This is the thing, bro. Support your team, bro. We try to give you 28. We try to give you 25. Somebody else signed. We try to give you 28. You didn't want it. Try to give you 30. Didn't want it. Man, you got your 35, bro. At least be your funky ass on the sideline supporting your team, bro. Post something on the internet. Post something on the internet when we win a game or something. Like, post something on the internet that says, man, I can't wait to get back on the field. We ain't heard shit from this dude, bro. Hey, you know you wrong for that, right?
Hear it, bro.
Hey, and then, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I just don't feel the dude. And then when they asked him about, the contract, he said, "Yeah, I made it a little bit harder than it was supposed to be." Man, your funky ass was catching passes in between trees. You should have been training for real. Like, I don't know, man. I just
This is an old. All right. Oh, so Dre, look, man.
I've been stewing on this for months. Now you can tell, huh?
You don't say. You've been stewing on it for months because everything that you're talking about is at least 6 months old.
I know, bro, but I'm just saying, like, I had
Dre, hey, Dre, this was for the call-in show of week 2. This isn't for week 18's call-in show.
It's just the brother who called in, I think it was about like 30, 45 minutes ago. Chris, and he started talking about, when Chris called in and started talking about Brandon Ayuk, I was like, yeah, bro, I kind of agree. Like, and I'm putting in my own antics to where I say, man, it's just, I'm one of those dudes who likes to see the camaraderie that we've been known for over the years, bro. And he just doesn't show it. I mean, look at some of his interviews after games when we played this season. The dude doesn't even seem enthused or happy about nothing. It's like, dude, you just got paid. What's wrong with you, bro? You should be real chippery. Like, he doesn't seem
not chippery.
He doesn't seem to be happy to be a 49er, bro. I mean, if you really look at some of his interviews, bros, and you look at his demeanor, it does not look like he's happy to be a 49er, bro. And I don't understand it, bro. I don't get it.
All right. So one thing I will give you is that the too cool for school act, that's a pet peeve of mine. Even when I coached, I did not like it. You know what I'm saying? I did not like guys who acted like, that everything else was just it was just a foregone conclusion that we was going to win. I didn't like that at all. So I'll give you that. But really, he is a subdued kid. Like, it's kind of just who he is. He's really not a rah-rah guy. Hold on. Don't step on my work. So,
my bad.
So now, he's not that much of a rah-rah guy. And I will tell you is that, to be honest, is that a lot of the times, you got to be real with yourself and understand that, like, he's got self-awareness. He knows what everybody is thinking right now. He knows that right now I have to completely get off social media because if I say anything, if I do anything online, come on, man, Twitter is a cesspool, man. The last place you need to be with 2 ligaments in your knee that need to be repaired is on social media. He tried, and I'm going to tell you this. He did try. I believe it was after the Rams game. He did like film. He did like a film review on his channel, and bro, that shit was rough. he was not. That was some tough content, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was not entertaining. So, and that's the thing. I believe that you got to give him some time, man. Like, a lot is swirling through his world right now. He stood on business for basically generational change money. Right? Life-changing money.
Yeah,
all right?
I'm not mad at
and
that.
he literally took every penny off the table and then got in front of everybody and admitted that he kind of put 20 on 10. He did a little bit too much there at the end. I wouldn't have admitted that if I was him, but I guess he felt as though, like, fuck it, I got the money now. I might as well be truthful. Cool.
Right. Yeah.
But
Right.
that stuff plays back. That's where you get a Dre Berry on here or January 2025 talking about some shit that happened in August of 2024. But at the same time, bruh, shoot him some bail. Shoot him some bail. You know why? Because you ain't got no choice to. So you might as well just do it in the front.
Yeah, he's not.
Right?
He's
But you gonna not play him?
Yeah,
play,
you
right?
got to play.
And let's keep it a buck, Chuck. You having this conversation now, but if BA comes back and he's BA, all is forgiven.
Yeah, of course. And that's how it works, bro. That's how it works in 49er fandom for me, bro. I'm just a diehard, and it's really what have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. That's how it goes.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
And then Brock Purdy. I love Brock Purdy for the young man that he is. I believe that he is a good quarterback. It's just this year Brock Purdy has 5 fourth quarter interceptions with 4 minutes or less left in the game on a game-winning drive. That's 5 games that he has literally lost himself. We can't have that. We can't. And there's no excusing that. And on 4 of those interceptions, he had guys in the flat that could have got at least 10 to 15 yards. And instead of taking the check down, he just went up top. And he didn't do that last year. He took his check down last year.
Well, so I believe he had so much talent around him that it was literally get me the ball. Right. So, Christian McCaffrey not being here changed a lot for us. But, hey, man, let me get a prediction. I need a prediction for Arizona because I'm going to close out with this last dude that I know everybody wants to see. So I'm going to go ahead, Dre. Close me out.
I believe that without James Conner, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think our defense is going to come to play pumped up. I would say 24-17. I want us to lose. I'm not going to lie. I would rather have the 11th pick than
you want that pick.
Yeah, I want the pick, bro. I want the pick.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they already said Debo's not playing. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're kind of shutting it down, trying to get some guys healthy. So I want that 11th pick, man. I want that. Hey, man,
love the call. Be here for the watch show, man. Call in again, man. I love the call, Dre.
You already know I'm gonna be here, bro, on Sunday, bro. I appreciate it. Much love to y'all. Happy New Year's, bro.
Happy New Year, Brody. All right, let's get some super chats out the way. Serenity 499, thank you. The good thing about injuries was getting to see some young ones. Rock, Mason, Garindo, PT Jr., thank you. Mustafa Cowing, Pearsall Pooney, etc. Congrats. 18K. Wow, I know, Serenity. It's nuts. It's crazy. Travis Stewart, 199, thank you. Sorry, had to drop out, Coach. Dang, you took the link. I know, I got to close out. I'm over here at 2 minutes and 22 seconds for 2 hours and 22 minutes, rather, for the watch show. Chunder Boy, $2. This dude is 100% correct. Thank you. I don't know if he's talking about me or not. This is one thing that I did want to bring up. I got Roscoe and Chunder Boy last. These are my last 2 callers. But I did see a comment from Steve-O right here. I wanted to talk about this, and I'm going to get into something. When I say that the fans are the life's blood to the organization, let me get specific, because I don't agree with this, Steve-O. And I'm going to take it down, but we literally pay their bills. So let's get into it really quickly. All right? Let's go over it. Fans' revenue sources, game day revenue. Okay? This is just what the fans do. Ticket sales, premium seating, concessions, parking fees, in-stadium merchandise, merchandise and licensing, retail merchandise sales, online merchandise sales, licensing revenue, media and broadcasting, TV broadcasting revenue, streaming revenue, pay-per-view and special events, sponsorship and advertisement revenue, corporate sponsorships, advertising revenue, season ticket memberships, fan clubs, streaming subscriptions, e-commercial sales, monetized social media content, fan attendance on non-NFL events. Let's not forget about that. All of the concerts that these stadiums hold every year. Charity events and auctions. In-app purchases. All right? fantasy football leagues, global merchandise sales, tickets for international games, stadium tours, team-specific experiences, sports betting apps, fantasy football revenue. Don't you ever say that they don't make their money because of the fans. We are the reason why they get paid. All right? Don't let anybody sit here and talk about, oh, well, Kyle Shanahan doesn't answer to the fans. He answers to Jed. Hell. Where the hell you think Jed get the money? It is because of us. All right? So just because it may seem like an organization is bigger than life, larger than life, and you don't want to understand your contribution to that organization, that's fine by me. But it is in pure black and white. Without the fans, there is no Kyle Shanahan. Without the fans, there is no 49ers. Without the fans, there is no NFL. So let's come on, man. Let's start there before we start talking about who has the right to talk about why they're upset with the 6-10 season. You think season ticket holders wanted to see this season this year? After the thousands upon thousands of dollars that they pay? Grow up. Understand where the money come from. Roscoe, what's good, baby?
What's up, Coach?
My guy. What's good?
Working, man. Oh, man, I'm blessed. A good show. Most people say a lot of good things, especially about Purdy. You know, I love Purdy, but, I mean, we know the truth in his fourth quarter. I will say, Dre came with a lot of energy and was so loud and wrong. Brandon Ayuk was at the Lions game. Mm-hmm. He was in the press box. He can't be on the sideline. Dude recently just had surgery.
Right.
So, Dre, please do your research before you're loud. Golly, man. Some of these
don't be attacking my followers,
I'm
bro.
Just saying.
Don't be attacking my followers, though.
But you know, I just want to say, great show, Coach. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, bro.
I'm glad that dude Wink he shouted you out too. So just keep doing what you're doing, Coach. Man, keep doing what you're doing. Now, hopefully, you post stuff more like you're supposed to be posted.
I'm gonna post.
Keep up the great work, Coach.
Thank you.
Ultimately, I'll just say this. The Niners, this is one thing I know the Niners will address. They will address the offensive line.
Okay.
Because when Kyle Shanahan spoke on it in that Rams game, he spoke on it several times. If Kyle can't run the ball, he's going to if Kyle cannot run the football, it kills his offense. Everything is predicated off the run with the 49ers and with Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Agreed.
I remember I was listening to a show and a guy was reading a quote from Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan talked about, hey, when I was in Houston, we passed the ball a lot and we lost a lot. When I started running the ball, turn in the wins. When in doubt, when the Niners are in trouble and they need a game to win, they go right to the run game and they'll run that ball 30, 35, 40 times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was, I'm not sure what game. I think it was the Tampa game where you just started to see like, oh, we truly can't run the ball. Oh, we couldn't run against the Chiefs either. Banks and Brendo. I mean, I would say McKivitz, but I think they're going to keep McKivitz. So Banks and Brendo, you got to go. They got to go. If the Niners bring back Banks, Brendo, and Moody, they're not serious. They're not serious. Yeah, Jake Moody. Any Jake Moody fans in there, you're getting blocked.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on.
Jake
now
Moody,
you got to shoot Jake Moody a little bit of bail.
What?
Okay. Turn me down a little bit. Turn me down. I can hear myself in your headphones. So through your speaker.
It's nothing.
All right. So look, the reason why you got to shoot him some bail is that he's hurt, and he's hurt from his kicking his plant leg on his foot. All right. Now, does Jake Moody deserve to be the outright starter next year? No. I would say that Jake Moody has to fight for his job next year. Bring somebody else in here and compete. But just to get rid of him after an injury, and part of it is he shouldn't have been making the tackle anyway. Our special team sucks. That's the truth. But that's the part that's never going to get told in history. But that's really why he's hurt. I think that he's earned a shot in camp. If he makes it to week 1, I'll ride out with him for week 1. But it's pretty bad. I will give you that.
I'll give you that. He has to fight for his job. Somebody come in and compete with him.
Yeah,
that's actually fair.
Because he's a third. The only reason why I would do that is because he's a 3rd round pick. He's a literal asset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that Kyle won't even let Jake. Dude, we saw what Kyle did for Ricky Pearsall this season. What's the best thing that Kyle did for Ricky Pearsall this season? Do you know what he did?
That last game.
Huh?
Get him the ball that last game.
Nah. Second to that. Before that, what did he do this season that helped out Ricky Pearsall?
I don't know. Tell me.
He didn't play Jacob Cowing.
Oh.
If Jacob Cowing got his legs up under him and really created a role for himself on this offense, Ricky Pearsall would be an afterthought. Come on, you know it. With them both being rookies, and Ricky Pearsall being a 1st round pick who a lot of people thought was a reach anyway, if Jacob Cowing came in and actually found a package in this offense with he's instant. He has instant attributes: fast, shifty, quick, can get upfield. You get Jacob Cowing in the open field, like he's a problem. But the reason why Kyle kind of put the kibosh on that is because he was trying to get Ricky his reps. There's a lot of games where Ricky Pearsall had tons of reps. He just didn't do anything. He just wasn't getting open.
No. He was getting open. You go back and rewatch some of the games. He was getting open. He just wasn't getting the football. and I've been saying that.
So are we segueing right now? Is that the segue?
No.
Is that the segue into Brock?
Oh, yes. Listen, Coach, you know I love Brock Purdy. I am a big Brock Purdy fan. I came on your show, defended Brock Purdy. But I'll tell you this, and I told Jesse this on the show. I told Croc this. I told my guy Greg Pinelli this. Actually, I didn't even get to tell Greg this. But for me, I give the players a chance to show me who they are.
Okay.
So while a lot of you may have seen it early, for me, I just had to let multiple games go by before I could make a definitive decision, right?
Oh, so you just need to get smacked in the face twice instead of once.
Shut up, Coach. Listen, man, some people, it takes time for them to see. Like, it just, to me, I need a bunch of data, right? Data.
Okay.
And really, it was these last 3 games, bro. These last 3 games, interception. What, 4 interceptions? 4 interceptions in the 4th quarter?
Mm-hmm.
2 against the Lions, 1 against the Rams, and 1 against the Dolphins. I mean, and you look at his career 4th quarter numbers, you look at his this season 4th quarter, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. And I'll just bring this quarterback up, since some people, because we know Brock is not top 5, so I'm not even going to compare him to a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
Baker Mayfield gets better in the 4th quarter. He's got 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in the 4th quarter, completing 70% of his passes. Under 2 minutes, Baker Mayfield has 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's why his team is on the brink of making the playoffs. You know why? Because he turns it up in the 4th quarter, while Brock turns it down in the 4th quarter. And the plays have been there. Brock, you airmailed to throw to Debo against the Seattle Seahawks, because we could have closed that game out. Brock,
and you a Debo guy too. I know that hurt.
You stared down Ricky Pearsall versus the Lions when on the other side, Jawan Jennings was open. Brock, you airmailed the throw. I forgot which receiver was it, or it could have been to Pearsall again, where the ball got picked off against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nobody's fault but you, Brock. And again, now I'm gonna end with this. I believe in Brock. I truly do. But we have to blame people. Everyone worst nightmare.
Nah, see, you can't. This is why you ain't built for YouTube, because you can't see a comment and keep going. You see that joint? Yeah, I put it up just to fuck with your concentration, to see what you was gonna say. Just leave it alone, bro. Just let it be up there. Why you all thrown off, Roscoe? Why you thrown off?
I don't even know what he's talking about. That's the best. That's the funniest thing. I don't even know what he's talking about. If you saying that I'm wrong about Purdy, I promise you can't come up here and defend Purdy. I promise you can't come.
No. Nobody's.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I would love to do. But my biggest thing is that I just would love for the people who, you know what I've noticed is that the people who think Brock is elite, we don't know what their faces look like. Like, get online and let's have the conversation. Like, you know, because there's a faction right now that they're like Opus Dei now.
Wait, do people really? No. Can I ask you this? Do people really think Brock is elite?
Yeah. There's people out there that they're like the Skulls. Now they've become like their own elite cult they're like Skull and Bones. Like the people that think Brock are elite, they themselves think they're elite. Like elite, and you know, elite is like top 5, bro. They think he's that. Kyle Shanahan, did you hear Kyle's comments about Brock?
Mm-mm.
You didn't hear that?
No, I really didn't.
Listen to this nonsense. Well, I mean, I'm going to just let you hear it, and you tell me what you think about this. This is your coach, all right? This is the guy that you defend. Listen to this.
I love Kyle Shanahan.
For you guys, and so no Brock this Sunday. It's going to be Josh Dobbs starting for you guys, and I just wanted to know, with Brock's season done, what is something that really impressed you about him this season, and what's one thing you like for him to improve upon in 2025?
Well, I'm excited to, Brock to get away for a little bit and him and I get back together and watch this whole season of tape where we can really just dissect it. Because this year, Brock's numbers and stuff aren't as good as his last 2 years, but of course they're not. He's been missing a starting left tackle. He's been missing an NFL MVP at running back. He's been missing the backup running back and the third string running back. He's been missing a starting X. He's had to go through a lot of stuff out there that's made this season much bigger of a challenge, where your numbers will change when that's the case. But I don't think Brock's playing much different than he has when he was killing it numbers-wise those 2 years. And so be able to watch him go through some adversity and be in some tougher situations. And, I think that's why he's had to scramble a little more. He's found ways to make some plays with his legs. He's had some tough games that he's had to bounce back from, which he always does. But I think Brock's had a hell of a year. There's always things that we can improve on, which we'll look into all that when we get back here in the offseason. But it's never, you always want everything to go right. But I do think when things aren't perfect and they seem like things aren't going the right way, I think sometimes in the long run, it can be one of the best things that happen to you if you learn from it and get better. And this was the first season Brock had to go through where things weren't exactly right. The guys around him did get hurt. Our team wasn't quite as good. We were in some tougher situations, and to watch Brock go through that and handle it the way he did just proves again, like he has for all 3 of these years, that we got the right guy.
That's what he said, bro. He says that we got the right guy, quote unquote. Brock had a hell of a year. When you go through a season with this many guys missing, I mean, they're behind him.
See, before you put that stupid comment up from that casual, I was about to end with this. I believe in Brock, and I truly think he'll win us a Super Bowl.
Whoa. What? You said what? What did you say on my channel?
I didn't stutter, Coach.
You said that. Hold on. Say it again. For the people in the back.
I believe in Brock. I said I believe in Brock.
Okay.
And I truly think he'll win a Super Bowl for us.
We're going to start doing drug tests with these call-in shows. You know what I'm saying? Because this is ridiculous, bro. Like,
Coach,
we're going to have to start doing.
I literally admitted what Brock is. Well, I always knew who Brock was. I knew he was never elite. I never called him elite ever. I always knew what he was. But I also still remember we were a play away from winning a Super Bowl. I think Brock can help us win a Super Bowl.
He can
It's not
help
gonna be
us.
all on him though.
All right, so look, I think that Brock can be a part of a Super Bowl.
Yes.
All right. You know what I'm saying? And look, Steve, I'm with you, Steve-O. I'm not going to try to change his opinion. I believe that Brock can be a part of a Super Bowl team.
I agree.
But I in fact do not believe that Brock can lead a team to a Super Bowl, let alone a Super Bowl win. He hasn't. Would you say that Brock has led us to a Super Bowl thus far? Do you think he led us to the Super Bowl last year?
Yes. I thought Brock played a major role in helping us get to the Super Bowl last year.
That's not what I asked you.
Yes, you did. You just said, do you think he can lead us to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, and then you said, I
game?
think Brock played a role in the Super Bowl. You see how that's different?
He played a leading role in helping us get to a Super Bowl last year. Do I think he will be the driving force of us winning a Super Bowl? No.
All right.
He'll be a part of the role.
All right. So then by that,
it's pretty
then
fair, Coach. I think I've been pretty fair.
I'm not saying that you haven't, but what I'm also here to say is that you do understand that us getting to the Super Bowl, one thing that has to happen is that our defense has to become all world again.
Our defense wasn't all world last year in the playoffs.
Dog, why do you add like these little things on the end like I don't understand?
Okay,
why do you
Coach,
why do you do that? You talk to me like I don't understand the English language.
Can we end it with this?
I said that we had an all-world defense, and then you said we didn't have an all-world defense in the playoffs.
Coach,
like, what are you doing right here? You're playing these word games with me, buddy.
Really bad, Coach. I just want to ask you. I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna end it like this. I'm gonna ask you a question.
All right,
Coach, and you can ask your listener, callers too.
Okay,
the listeners. Ask the chat. The chat can answer this. Do you think Brock Purdy in the next 5 years can help lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl?
No.
All right. That's
I
fair.
do not. I don't believe people get that much time in the NFL to make that type of stuff happen. No. If Brock Purdy is leading, is leading the 49ers. No, you didn't say leading, but you said helping the 49ers to a Super Bowl within 5 years. That means that Kyle would have been here in what, 15 years? I'm not putting up with Kyle for 15 fucking years.
All right, Coach. You have a good one, man.
I love you. Talk to you later.
All right, bro.
All right. Thunderboy, this is the last call. My guy. What's good? Close us out.
What's up, buddy?
Bro. What's good, brother?
Going instead of the beginning today. What's going on with you?
Yeah, you were here in the very beginning, bro. Came in on the end. How you been, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. Trying to get some work done today out here on a Saturday.
What you got for me, man?
So I think people are thinking about a rebuild different. People are talking about a rebuild the same as you talk about a reset. And they're not the same thing. A rebuild is when you tear it all the way down, you fire everybody, and you start over and you rebuild the organization from scratch. A reset is where you say, all right, we have some key issues that we need to deal with. And you need to do a reset and get rid of some bad contracts or get rid of some bad locker room people or get rid of your coordinators. Or that's what a reset is, where you're there. You just need to kind of reset some things. And that's where the 49ers are. However, I don't think the 49ers agree with that. Okay. So if you ask, what are the 49ers going to do? They're going to reload. They're going to try to keep as many of their core guys as they can, and they're going to try to get this done before they age out, because I don't think that they feel like they have. So a reload is where you take the guys you have and you try to add a piece that you think you might be missing. You try to draft well and add a guy in the draft, and you're reloading a team that you think is just a player or two away. That's a reload. Or, okay, we're losing Javon Hargrave. You go out and sign another high-end defensive tackle. We're going to lose Ward, where we've got replacement corners for that, so on and so forth. So a reload is basically a much smaller version of a reset, because you're not getting rid of all your coaches, right? You're not getting rid of coordinators and stuff like that. You're not getting rid of a bunch of high-priced players, stuff like that. The 49ers need to reset. Anybody not named Fred Warner or George Kittle that is over the age of 27 and has a contract that is $10 million or more needs to go away. All of them.
All right, let's go ahead and look at that right now.
McCaffrey,
Say that again.
Hargrave,
Anybody that's
Debo,
over 27
and has a $10 million a year contract or more. So it's Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Hargrave, Debo. So obviously Ward's going to go. I would throw Juszczyk in there too, because his contract for a fullback might as well be $10 million.
You mean
and that
George
would be
Kittle
a
as well?
reset. So anybody not named Fred Warner or George Kittle, because they're the only two players. George Kittle's the heart and soul of our offense.
Yes.
And this year's arguably the best player on the team this year. Fred Warner is the heart and soul of your defense. You don't want to rip the heart out. If you're going to do that, you might as well tear the whole thing down, fire the coaches, fire everybody. If you're going to do that, you might as well just tear the whole thing apart. You can't rip the heart out when you're trying to just do a reset. Okay?
All right.
So you have to keep Fred. You got to keep George. Everybody else who's over the age of 27 and makes $10 million or more, gone. You're going to have to eat some cap next year, but it's nowhere near as bad as people think it is. A lot of people really don't understand where we're at cap-wise. There's a reason the 49ers are rolling over $50 million. They get to use all that money next year to reset the roster if they want to, but they're not going to use it to reset the roster. I promise you that. They're just going to reload.
Dre. They got to re-sign Dre. Oh, look, but this is the thing that I have for you too, is that like all of this sounds good in theory, and I get it. However, that's not. I don't want to say. I feel you're not prioritizing certain aspects of the debate. So, what I'm telling you right now is, I think you're not prioritizing what Kyle is going to do with the offense, right? And what that means is, I just said it a couple of callers ago. Since Kyle's been here for 8 years, there's no middle ground with him. Either the team is completely falling off, or the team is so good Kyle can't even mess it up. You know what I mean? And my thing about that is that I believe that they need to get as many young players on this team as possible. Like we are an old, top-heavy team. And
slow.
Yeah, and where you get a Trent Williams, it used to be Trent Williams was good enough where his talent would permeate down the offensive line all the way to the right side. It's not like that anymore. That's got to be on the inverse now. The youth and the vitality of the offensive line needs to accentuate Trent, right? It's almost like having, you know what it's like? It's like having Kareem back when Kareem was on his way out with Magic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kareem was like a shell of himself, but Kareem wasn't out there doing everything. He still had the hook. He was jogging a little bit up the court, but Kareem wasn't a part of Showtime. Kareem wasn't running up and down the floor, killing himself. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that you can only do that with so many players on the team. I will say is that one thing that I was waiting for you to say that you didn't bring up is who's going to get restructured and who's going to get cut. Because there are some guys that are not going to survive this season. And I'm going to take them. You can't say Javarius Ward because we know he's gone. Okay, and we already know that there's a decision between Huff and Javarius Ward, but I'm talking about of the core, who's got to go, who gets restructured.
So I actually don't think they're going to do a lot of restructures in this upcoming season. They might do two people, depending on how much cap they want to roll over into the following season. The 49ers use rollover cap to pay for their dead money on their void years. This is this is something that really nobody understands. They basically have created a perpetual cap machine where they get to control how much cap they have year to year because they're able to roll money over. So they restructure contracts to give themselves rollover money to pay for the void years the following year. And the cap continues to go up, so they have to do less and less of it over time. They get screwed if somebody who they restructure doesn't reach the end of the contract, because all of the void money, all the money they kick down the road, all has to come due the following season. So that's the problem, is that you can only restructure guys that you know are going to be here for at least 3 years, right? So you restructure a Fred Warner, which I think what they're going to do is not restructure. I think they're going to extend Kittle and extend Warner, and they're both going to get lower cap numbers. And they're going to create space by extending Kittle, by extending Warner, and they're going to use that money to re-sign Greenlaw, who's going to get $20 million a year. You guys don't be surprised. That's what he's going to get. We'll say 18, give or take $1 million. And Huff, if you can get him for 13 to 15, sign him. If not, if he wants a top of the safety market deal, which I think is 17 to 20 in that range, then I don't think you can do it. But Huff is an impact player. Our run defense also got better when he came back. So what the 40 now, all the things that I'm saying, this is what I think they should do. I don't think it's what the Niners the reset. I don't think that's what the Niners are going to do at all. The 49ers.
Right. I wanted you to be clear on that. Yeah.
Yes. So the 49ers are probably going to keep Debo, because I think in the mind of Kyle Shanahan, the $6 million in savings that you get by cutting Debo or by trading him, I don't think he cares about the dead cap money. I think he cares about what the cap savings are as far as the overall. You save $6 million. I think that he thinks Debo is more valuable than saving $6 million on the cap. I disagree, but that's probably what Kyle Shanahan thinks. So I don't think Debo is going anywhere. They already asked Juszczyk to take a pay cut, so they're probably not going to cut him. They're probably going to re-sign Dre Greenlaw to a long-term extension. They're going to try to draft Will, and they're going to do very little in free agency.
I want you to look at this real quick, man. Just so we're all on the same page right here. This is where Debo's at right now. I want y'all to look at these void years, man. So right now, Debo's due to make $23.8 million next year. All right. His cap hit for the coming season of 2025 is right here at 15.8. All right. This is what kills me with the Niners with these drafts. I mean, with these deals. And I don't think a lot of people do this, but these are the void years that we have when Deebo Samuel is no longer on the team and we still have to pay him. All right. So my biggest thing right now is that we have so many of these guys that we're kicking their deals down the can so far that we're paying them years after they're gone into our new cap. In 2030, we're still going to be paying Debo. You know, so for me, I understand like trying to keep these names around by shifting the cap around year after year after year to try to keep running it back, so to speak. But what really throws me off, Chunder Boy, is like, bro, we're killing our future. You know, so at some point, we're going to have a real conversation with somebody and let them go. Or you got to take a pay cut, right? Because Debo's money is like, he's here for a while. And I don't want that to be replicated across the roster.
Well, and the other part of that contract that you just showed, if we do cut Debo, all of that void money, all of it hits in 2026. We don't get to space it out if he doesn't reach the end of his contract. That's how the void years work. If a guy gets cut early or trade before the end of his contract, all the void years move to one season the following year. So not
That's
only
why I
do
said we need
have
to
a
cut or trade these dudes, so we need to rip the Band-Aid off. I don't want to
just
That's my point. My point of showing this was so everybody could understand that by kicking the can, where the hell is he at? By kicking the can on Deebo Samuel's deal or on anybody's deal, this is just a microcosm of what it looks like every time we restructure one of these guys, all right, and thin out their deal, and their deal gets thinned out over the cap over years, and then it gets put into years that we don't have them. The void years get erased once we let them go. We have to take all of this hit, all of these years that we thinned out, we have to take them in one foul swoop within the year that we cut them, all right? I would much rather do that than to do this shit.
So I do understand what you're saying, and at times I agree, depending on certain players. But what I mean by the 49ers have a perpetual cap machine is so they can pay that void money with restructure money because they can roll over the restructure money into following seasons. The reason that they have so much cap rolling over this year is because they're going to have huge dead cap money with Hargrave. They're still paying Eric Armstead. They still have two or three other people they're paying. So they're rolling over money to pay for all that void money. So they have kind of this perpetual cap machine. 2 years from now, when we have to start paying void money on guys like Debo, if Debo stays in his last year of his contract, we get to pay that void money off $5 million a year or whatever it is. I couldn't see the numbers. And I'll do more when I have a chance to do a deep dive on the cap. I'll explain all this a little bit clearer. But they are able to just continue kicking this can down the road because they're paying for the can with new money. When Brandon Ayuk hits a spot 2 years from now, if he's still on the team, they can restructure him to pay for Debo's void years, for instance, as an example. If Ricky Pearsall turns out to be really good and he gets paid, there's another contract of a guy who's going to be around that you can restructure. Diamador Lenore in 2 years is going to get restructured. That's why they structured the deals they do with heavy salary numbers late in the deal, so that they have people that they can restructure to kick money to they're basically moving money where they need it. So if we need if we're going to have $35 million in dead void money next year, they can restructure guys and create $35 million in rollover cap to pay for the void years. So they have this perpetual machine that they can keep going as long as they want to. But if you don't draft well, you don't have new people that you can restructure. You don't have young guys on a big deal that you can restructure. If Trent Williams retires and all of his void money hits, now you've just, so you're counting on certain guys to reach the end of their deal.
This is important too, that your scenario only works with the cap moving up annually. It has to.
So they are clearly planning on the cap continuing to go up. If the cap takes a hit and the cap stays where it's at or goes down, that's the second factor. The first factor is you can't have guys retire on you early or their career ends or whatever. That's the one thing. It has to be guys that stay on the team for at least 2 or 3 years past the restructure. And the other potential that can screw them is if the cap drops. If we have something happen and the cap goes way down, if there's a big scandal in the NFL that says they're actually rigging the games and they cheated and the cap goes way down,
the cap goes down.
It screws everything, right? As an example. So those are the only 2 scenarios. Other than that, they can continue to kick this thing down the road for 10 years. It's a perpetual cap machine where they can continue to create money to pay for the void years.
You know what it sounds like?
They don't ever have to really stop. It's almost a Ponzi scheme. It's a little bit of a
Ponzi scheme, dog. It sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, and eventually, and here's the thing: eventually, it will come due. But what they're trying to do is, once they get a championship, now they can let some of this money go. Have one bad year, right? Where they can reset the whole thing and start over. And now they can do it for another 10 years. So they can continue to kick this as long as they want to try to win a championship. I really think people don't understand how good the 49ers are at creating as much they can get and do. And Brock Purdy getting paid does not hurt us for 3 years on the cap.
Because I was about to stop you because you were about to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you were about to say they can do and get anything they want with the cap as far as the cap is concerned. And I don't believe
just about, yeah.
Hold on, look. See, this is the thing. The reason why I disagree with that is because you still have to deal with the human element of the game. Age, attrition, injuries, all right, and performance.
Yes.
All right. So you can pay a guy all you want, and it can look good on paper, right? But ultimately what happens is that if you get a guy that you're overpaying for, but you got a head coach who doesn't want to let guys let me put it like this. Your scheme works if football is truly a meritocracy for the 49ers, but we know it's not. It's not a meritocracy. And the reason—
It's not my scheme, by the way. It's their scheme.
Yeah, but if it was a meritocracy, it would work because the guys who deserve to get cut or fall off, they fall off. And you keep the guys who deserve to be there, right? However, the biggest issue right now is that Kyle plays favorites. And on top of it, not only does he pay favorites, but he drafts kickers in the 3rd round. And he goes and he trades up for— I'm just being real with you.
You're so right. You're so right.
Stuff like that fucks everything up.
Yes, Kyle Shanahan doing dumb shit like that throws a giant monkey wrench into this perpetual cap machine. I totally agree. And by the way, I did miss someone. The person that they're going to restructure this next offseason is Nick Bosa.
Yeah, it's due. He needs to get—
He's 2 years in, so
he's
he'll
2
get
years
restructured
in.
and get some money.
He needs to get restructured. They're going to give him his nice deal. He's going to get a lump sum.
His $42 million cap number next year is going to be like $10 million, and they're going to create $30 million in cap space by converting it to cap, converting it to salary.
Where do you think we use the money at, though? Do we go the way we're moving this type of money? We've got more than enough money to sign a draft right now. We could sign a draft class. So what are they doing? Are they moving this money around to keep guys or to go get guys? You think we're going to put some of that into keeping Dre?
So I think we keep Dre. I think we keep Huff if the number's under 15 million or if it's a super team friendly deal. The 49ers don't care about the annual value. They don't care about what the number looks like annual value. They absolutely do not. They care about the structure of the contract. Does the structure of the contract allow them to continue to manipulate the cap moving forward? That's it.
And
they
honestly,
don't care about the
Peter,
overall.
you got to understand, a restructuring is basically taking Nick Bosa's money that he's going to get paid anyway and giving it to him in one fat check. He'll take. He'll go for the restructuring. Honestly, the restructuring in a 9-to-5 world, a restructuring is basically a bonus. It's a lump sum.
It's not basically, it's actually a bonus. They convert your salary to signing bonus. So the real world example would be if your boss came to you and said the $70,000 salary that you get paid this year, we're going to give you $60,000 right now as a bonus, and we're going to pay you $10,000 for the rest of the year. So you're going to get $1,000 a month the rest of the year, but we're going to give you $60,000 right now to do whatever you want with.
Right.
Who's not going to take that?
Who's not going to take that lump sum? Right. So when you think about restructuring, guys, it's not necessarily the guys losing money. It's basically accelerating the raw money that they are already getting paced out over years because the team needs to thin out their new cap number on the cap so they can create room for other guys. Also, this is also a good point to bring up. There's a duality when we're having a conversation about the cap. There is the salary, which is the raw money that Jed pays players. And then there's the fixed cap, which is a number that all of the roster must fit under. Okay?
Correct.
So those two things are exclusive of each other. All right. So sometimes when you hear about a guy making Deebo Samuel is making $28 million a year, that $28 million is coming out of Jed's pocket. Jed is paying that money to Deebo Samuel. All right.
Yes.
Now, Deebo was replicated on this roster as being a $12.5 million cap hit. That goes towards the overall cap number that Deebo Samuel takes away from. So there's just a difference. And forgive me if anybody who knows this, I'm not trying to talk down, but I want everybody to be along with the conversation.
I'll do a whole cap breakdown here in the near future because there are a lot of people that don't understand how the cap works as far as what goes towards the cap and what doesn't. But I just want people to calm down a little bit about what we can. Here's the thing so this kind of all stems from Brock Purdy, whether you can pay him or not, and whether or not that prevents you from putting a good team around him. Paying him $55 million a year does not prevent you from putting a good team around him. It prevents you from re-signing good players 4 or 5 years from now. But if you draft well, that's not really that big of a deal. So if you pay Purdy, you have to draft well. If you pay Purdy and don't draft well, that will screw your team because you will not have the money to go out and sign a big money free agent.
And you're
not going to be able to go out, right? So if you don't draft well and pay Purdy, and he's kind of a bridge level quarterback the way he showed this year, and he's not the really good quarterback that we saw last year, then that's where things kind of go sideways. But if you pay Brock Purdy $55 million and a team-friendly deal with an out after 2 years, what you're basically doing is saying that we got Brock for 3 years to try to win a championship with Brock, and we can put a team around him and at that, while we try to do that. If Brock shows over the next year, 2 years, whatever, that he's not the guy, we go find a guy, and then we let Brock go when the out comes. So you can pay him 55, and it's not detrimental to the team at all if that's what they want to do. And if Brock is a bridge quarterback, because he's trending that direction, we have to be honest. He used to be trending towards franchise quarterback last year. He's now trending towards bridge quarterback.
Tell everybody how me and you almost ended our relationship over arguing whether Brock was a lead or not.
Yeah, we go at it. Y'all don't understand. We cuss each other out, screaming and yelling over some of this stuff.
How long was that? Like 3 months? Last year?
Something like that. Yeah.
Brock Purdy is out here fucking up friendships, y'all.
It gets borderline personal.
Yeah.
So let me say, I'm a Brock guy. I like Brock, and I've been defending Brock, especially behind the scenes. Me and Coach are going at it.
We go at it.
At the end of the day, I'm also a realist, and I'm also able to change my mind when presented with new information. And the new information is this year, when Brock was put in adverse situations, he failed. when he was put in situations late in the game where it's his responsibility to take over and make the throw that we need to make to win a game. He failed. That's not my opinion. That's the empirical fact that we saw on the field.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you believe that Brock Purdy, okay, we know he's not elite. We agreed with that.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback?
I think he can be. I think that this offseason is going to determine whether he is or not. Right now, I'm on the fence. It's 50-50.
All right, man. Look, you know
I think he gets paid 52, and I'm okay. I know you do. All right, I'll phrase it this way.
The gun to your head, man.
No.
Is Brock Purdy a franchise? Come on. What's wrong? What is wrong? Listen, this is what I don't understand. And maybe you you are a Brock guy. You're still a Brock guy, right?
Yeah, I am.
You are a Brock guy from
I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. I want to believe that he can get it done.
Day one. All right. So let me ask you this. What is so bad about you realizing that he's not the guy? Why does that bother you? I saw that on your face.
Yeah. Because I don't want to give up on him without so the same way that you needed more information after last year because kind of everything went right for him. And so you couldn't really get a clear evaluation because it's like, okay, he can play well when everything's going right, but what happens when it doesn't go right? This is the NFL. That's going to happen. Right. And so this year, it was kind of the opposite. Everything went wrong. Nothing went right for them this year. Receivers are dropping balls. The offensive line was terrible. Just go down the list, all the tragedies on the team, the weird offseason stuff. Nothing went right for them. So to say last year, you can't say he's a franchise quarterback because you've only seen one set of conditions. Well, you have to say the same thing this year. You can't just say he's only a bridge quarterback and can't be a franchise guy because everything went wrong this year. His wide receiver core was terrible this year outside of Juwan Jennings. Debo was terrible. Ayuk, when he played, was bad and then got hurt. Ricky Pearsall didn't play most of the year and he was good. He's fine for a rookie. Jake Cowling didn't play. Ronnie Bell was awful. His wide receiver core was awful this year. He had no time to throw the ball on a regular basis. He consistently had to make throws from a super dirty pocket. So I'm not ready to give up on the kid when everything is working against him this year, and he still threw for 3,800 yards and 25 touchdowns and made plays that franchise quarterbacks make. My concern with Brock Purdy is not that he can't be a franchise guy. My concern, as you and I have talked about this, but I don't know if I brought it up, is I've watched him miss too many open throws this year. Franchise quarterbacks cannot make easy plays hard. You can't make the easy stuff harder than the NFL is already hard enough. You can't constantly sail balls. And people want to talk about hand size. No, he's sailing balls because his footwork was bad. His base is too small. He's over the front of his foot, and that's making the ball sail on him.
What I tell you about turning it into Bill Walsh? What I tell you about talking like Bill Walsh?
All right, I'll stop. All right.
What I tell you about that shit?
My bad. You're right.
All right.
You're right.
Come on, man, because this what throws this ain't you.
He's been sailing balls all year, and it's his bad footwork, and that's fixable.
All right, it's fixable, but listen, this is my deal. Look, the times make the man, not the other way around.
Yeah.
All right, and when the time put Brock Purdy in the MVP conversation, everybody had to sit down and put.
It was an overreaction.
Oh, now, okay,
yeah, it was.
Somebody
looking
clip
back,
this.
It was, yes.
All right, because it was an
an
overreaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that saying that he is absolutely a bridge quarterback is also an overreaction. I think he's trending towards
overreaction.
He's trending that direction, but to just say that's what he is now, I think is an overreaction. He's trending that direction, clearly.
All right, so let me tell you this. Is he regressing? Is he regressing?
He regressed this year for sure. But all the things where he regressed are all fixable. The one thing that I am concerned about, whether or not it's going to get fixed or not, is he clearly got a short clock in his head this year. Early this season, he's running for his life. Guys are dropping balls. Guys are not getting open, and he got a quick clock. He's consistently leaving pockets that he doesn't need. He's consistently leaving pockets that he doesn't need to leave because he's got a quick clock. He's consistently getting off of reads and missing other reads because he's got this thing in his head like, no, I gotta right. His whole
So
process got sped up this year. So I don't know. Now that might not be fixable. That he might have gotten ruined. Maybe.
Allow me to recant. I believe that I understand where you're coming from, but there's some elements of the debate that I'd like to bring to the forefront that I don't feel as though you're highlighting. Number one, man versus zone coverage. It's not just what's happening with the Niners, but it's also with how defenses are playing against the Niners as well, particularly against Brock Purdy. All right.
Yep.
Brock Purdy
That's a
isn't
scheme
the
issue
only,
too, though.
Brock Purdy isn't the only quarterback who came onto the scene last year, had a very good year, and this was the first time that the league had gotten a full menu of them, a la CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud came onto the scene looking really good last year, all right? And look what's happening to CJ Stroud now that the league has a good bead on the routes that he likes to run. What's the
Same
offense
scheme.
and the tempo? Same scheme, exactly. So you have to ask yourself, what are some of the things that we've seen last year that defenses couldn't do or didn't do that they're doing this year? Last year, you couldn't run man against the Niners. You know why? Because it was too much talent on the field. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
There was way too much talent on the field. Your average NFL team is not going to be able to go 1-for-1 with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, and then all of them are just guarding. That's one thing that Kyle really banks on, right? With almost kind of shock and awing the defense, where not only are we going to play your rules against you, but we don't believe that you can match up with us 1-for-1 because of the misdirection, the pre-snap motion that we run. We put so much window dressing around this shit that we force you in the zone. And then when you get in the zone, that's when you have Brock in a position where Brock can get the ball out with anticipation. Brock can get the ball out with timing. But now, when you're going with man, all right, the clock is how you can get the ball open. All right. So yeah, you've got a clock on throwing receivers open. But my biggest thing with Brock is that I feel that Brock saw a lot less zone against defenses this year because of the injuries, where teams were like, we got enough to run man against these dudes. It's Ricky Pearsall, Deebo Samuel, and Jawan Jennings. We're good. All we got to do is worry
nobody
about,
was scared to go one-on-one. Nobody's scared to go one-on-one.
All we got to do is worry about George Kittle, and they didn't even really get George going till like near the latter year of the season, which was a crime, right? Because I still feel like he had one of his best seasons of his career.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not only just the injuries, but it's what teams were doing because of the injuries. So you can look at it from one side and say, man, you can't really go hard on Brock because Brock didn't have, all of the names that we're used to, his starting, and that's fine. But the facts is that no team gets a starting slate across the board all season. All right. And what my thing is that if Brock was the straw that stirs the drink, all right, then how come when defenses were facing us with all of these injuries, we weren't seeing zone? We still weren't seeing the defenses still weren't playing us the same way against Brock. If you're going against a quarterback who's worth his salt and weight, the number one thing quarterbacks have a really hard time with, especially seeing the field, is throwing against zone. All right? But quarterbacks with the arm talent, man is what you want because it streamlines the coverage. It's like everybody's running his hat on the hat. I can deal with this. Throw to my guy. Throw him open.
And throw where the defense isn't too. You can just throw it where let my guy go get it. Yeah.
I believe Brock was put in a lot of great positions last year that he didn't get this year due to the injuries. But it's not only because of the injuries, but it's also because Brock couldn't switch up his skill set either.
So, and I think, the problem that I have, and I'll leave with this because I have to get going. So the reason that I'm not out on Brock at all, but the reason that I am 1 foot in your camp as far as he is a bridge quarterback, and he's because we've talked about, I think he's trending towards Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's trending towards being a high level journeyman quarterback that you bring in to be a bridge for a young guy. He's trending that direction. And the reason that I feel that way is, number one, he does not elevate his game. I don't care about the rest, everybody else. He does not elevate his game in critical situations. It does not seem that way. Number two, he's got too many easy plays that he's missing. You cannot be a franchise guy if you're making it harder than it already is. And lastly, he wasn't able to. You can say all you want about guys. The 49ers had the least amount of separation in the league this year from their wide receivers. That's a fact. Guys were dropping the ball left and right early. That's a fact.
That's not on Brock.
Protection was terrible. Terrible protection. That's a fact, right? You can say all those things. None of those things change the fact that he misses the plays that are there. And a franchise quarterback, if you have adversity, fine. Guys are dropping balls. What happened last year? Mahomes, they're dropping balls left and right. They were still able to get wins because when the play was there, Patrick Mahomes made the play. The problem is Brock Purdy showed us too many times this year when the play is there, he didn't make it. And he especially didn't make it in the second half when the 49ers are off script and need him to elevate his play. I hope it doesn't continue, but it's not a good trend.
Hey, look, and you answered the one question that I was going to ask you is, all right, out of all of the things that have happened that are outside of Brock's control, what has put you in this position when you look at what he has been able to control? And I agree. For me, it's when you take away the injuries and you look at, the Rams game, my God, or dude, the last game we played against the Lions. I mean, my guy, you're throwing picks like that. The Ricky Pearsall pass, he can't get the ball there. I don't know if he's hurt or not. If he is, I hope he gets better. I don't want my quarterback hurt. But if that's what you got, kid, if that's all you got, then we got to go get more. We can't sit here and act like that's NFL caliber talent.
Yeah.
So for me, look, Brock did himself no favors this season. As far as being able to, and you know what? Because I'm gonna be real with you. If we would have won, let's say, what are we 6-10 now? Let's say if we would have went 9-8. If we'd have went 9-8 and Brock had the season that he had last year, everybody would say pay him.
Of course.
Everybody would say pay him. But
and if he played like he did last year, that's what our record would be. Because he would have won us 2 or 3 games. He would have overcome some adversity, and he would have won us 2 or 3 more games because he elevated his game when we needed him to. But because he wasn't able to do that, we're a 6-win team.
I'll close with this. No. Give me one game that we won this year because of Brock.
Correct. None.
Yeah. And that hurts me. That's what that for me.
Hurts
that's
you.
Kind of
it kills me. It kills me.
Gun. I mean, I love dunking on you, but that's the smoking gun.
I know.
For me, So hey, look, my thing is that we got to pay him. He deserves his money, but I even think that Brock knows that we can't field a team paying you like you're paying fucking Manning. Like that ain't happening.
Correct.
All right, brother.
But that's a problem for 4 years from now, not next year.
Oh, for sure. And lastly, do you let Brock play out his contract or do you pay him?
Okay, so what do I want them to do, or what's my prediction?
What's your prediction?
My prediction is $56 million over 5 years, 125 to 145 guaranteed, and it's going to be a team-friendly deal with an out after 2 years. His salary cap won't be over 40 for at least the first, probably until like year 3, which is when they can get out of it. And if he turns out, and here's the thing. If he turns out to be a legit 56, I think he's going to get $1 million more than Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, you look at the league, you look at Trevor Lawrence, some of these other guys, that's just the way it goes. And the 49ers play guys market. How many times have they paid a guy because of what?
Hold on. So, I meant to specify. So you think he's going to get paid 56 now? Or you think they're going to make him play it out and then they pay him?
No, this offseason, before training camp, 56 over 5 years.
No.
Yeah, shoot you now, right? Yeah. I'd like to see him make him play it out. 56? I'd like to see them bring in competition. Yeah. That's what he's gonna get. Over 5 years.
When he gets paid, I want you to call in, man. I'll talk to you, brother. I'll call you after this.
When he gets paid, I'm gonna call you immediately.
I know you are, you asshole. Talk to you, man.
Love you, bud. See ya.
Love you too, man. Hey guys, this was another great call-in show, guys. You guys know that this is hands down my favorite show of the entire channel. I get a chance to actually tap in with you guys, talk to all of you. Hey, man, tomorrow is going to be the last live watch show party of the season. Be here. It's going to be at 4:25 Eastern, which is 1:25 Pacific, against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to be in here to give you guys a great watch show party. Also, guys, we're going to be able to keep going with the draft and get into draft prep and all of those great things. Man, let me just tell you guys right now, this is the last call-in show of the season. I have been absolutely floored by the support and the engagement of all of you. This channel is nothing without every last one of you. I want to sit here and thank all of you, man, and wish you all happy holidays and a prosperous new year. We're in the new year. You guys were amazing. And hey, stay low. Ho, 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 ho. Great one. $5. Thank you. Clown still crying about O-line. Brock Purdy is top 5 in pass protection in pocket and in the pocket before pressure. We had a backup running back top 5 in rushing. How was that bad? Great one. We covered that. And you know what? I feel like this has been like your canned comment in all of the Brock Purdy conversations in every channel I see you in. But I'm not mad at you because you got that stat down pat. Guys, 18K and going strong. This is the coach signing off. Stay low and keep your feet moving. I'll talk to you guys.